Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Hard to break old habits. Joseph Wilson, welcome to the midday show. Not to learn how to trade show, the midday show. That's your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And we already have a couple of OGs joining us in the chat. Shout out to Juan Padilla and the OG Gorev. I'm like mixing my words today. Shout out to Blue Arrow, Derek Thompson. Who's this? Kevin Insta, Vern. We got the Roaring Griffin and Charlie Taft. How about Danny Koo? I thought that was KO there for a second. Cool man. All right. Philip, Oliver, Dupuis. We got Ginvesting and Draco. Matthew Cabral, Omar, Tez, Los Polos Hermanos. My main man, Adam freaking DeLuce. Congratulations, brother. We're wishing you a lifetime of happiness with you and Celine, man. That's fantastic news. Very happy for you, brother. Obviously, you are one of the OGs, and I'm very proud to call you a friend of mine. So shout out to ADL, baby. Go Arsenal today against Paris Saint-Germain. We got Jay. Not Jay Lee, but probably Jay Lee as well. We got Sadiq, God Emperor Almighty. All right, bro. John Manzonian. We got Junior Fuentes, Clipboard, Aziz, Football Trader. Who else, man? Parabolic something or another. Jose, One Shot, Cute Me, Big Finesse. I like that one. Moonshot. And shout out to who else? Stefan, Sadiq, Satar, Why Not? Jimmy D'Souza, New Mexico Misfit. One more, Adara. We're going to say Pop La Cork. Adara, what's going on up there?
Here, Sharif, is Meta's LlamaCon. As I mentioned, I was just seeing it this morning. This is actually happening today. It was announced a while ago, but Meta apparently announcing a new standalone Meta AI app. They also, it's called the V1, or I guess the first version here of their Meta AI app. Voice conversations in the Meta AI app, including full duplex demo, is available in US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand to start. So that's just being released on their website. I haven't seen any link to any stream, but I'm going to keep an eye out here for updates. Again, it looks like some of these updates are literally being published on their website. So I'll keep you all apprised as this happens. Keep an eye on META, which has been pretty range-bound today. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. Go ahead.
Thank you, Adara, guys. So you can see I tried to long some IBIT here. Didn't work out. I'm frustrated because I didn't put it on enough size right there, and I was looking for the continuation, but the market doesn't want to seem to really get the ball rolling here. So we'll be a little bit more patient. We traded some SoFi this morning. Number one idea. And then I'm like, okay, what's going on with 1450? And then I take a look at the options chain, and then you can see we had a supply zone there. So if you guys have the ability to pull up yours, then you'll be able to identify what's going on in the 14s and why we couldn't crack through that area. So I flip short, and then I get out as we pop back. But that wasn't a bad trade to the short side. Still red on the day, that's okay. Because I tried to push heavy on SoFi on this continuation, so you can see. We'll zoom in where we got it. Started decent, got the move up, then stopped out break even. And then I pushed pretty heavy right here, trying to get that break of 14.5. And then once we hit this, I had to pull up the chain and be like, okay, what's going on here? Get a better in-depth look. And then as soon as we rejected, I decided to hop out of that position. And then that's when I was like, okay, time for us to flip short in this market. And there you go. You see we get that little move to the downside there on SoFi. But IBIT, again, I was trying to push heavy on this name, looking for the continuation of the trend. I'm not saying that the opportunity isn't there right now. We might be able to get back in, but choppy price action on the 5-minute here, guys. So just be cautious on what's going on. I'm surprised the Qs are moving how they are with the likes of NVDA and Tesla not trading so well, but we'll take it. I mean, any up move is positive, and NVDA did touch into that 109.50 area, a little bit north of that. So we'll continue to watch that stock. If it's going to be strong, I have a definitive plan on it. If we can sit on the backside of this channel, which would put us north of 110, then I believe we can continue to climb higher. But yeah, going to look for names that are orderly. Bitcoin not looking the best, but I'm going to take another shot at it here, Sharif.
All right, man. We wish you the best on that one. Print up a storm, as we always hope. So I just weaseled into a new trade. Well, the first trade of the day. OMH, a volume-weighted average price retracement. Anything below 3, I'm gonzino. It's zigging. It's zagging. It's awfully volatile on the day. It's up 54%, 398 high a day. It's coming back into test 3. I've got my stop below 3. I'm long 17s. I'm already 4 pennies at 5, 6, 7 pennies out of the money now. It keeps dropping. It's going to have to hold that $3 area. Let's throw out some orders because I already put my stop. So if we do trigger to the high side, I'd like to be able to get some stuff. And that's the situation. So we're going to either get stopped out of this or we're going to take some prints. So let's talk exactly about what we want to talk about right now. Shout out to my man, Jedi. Already dropping cash in the chat super quick. 250 Dominican pesos. Really do appreciate that, Jedi. I know, man. Not a bad look there. So he wants to know about Amazon. Hello. Please, your opinion on Amazon for tomorrow. So you're talking about earnings, right? Amazon reports earnings tomorrow. Impossible for me to tell you what to expect from earnings. All I can tell you is there's a tariff headwind in multiple ways for Amazon. Let's talk about the first one, the de minimis principle. They bring in a lot of packages through their third-party sellers from China. Those all skirt tariffs because they come in under the de minimis exemption, which exempts all packages or all goods coming in under $880 US. So that on its face is going to add, I don't know what kind of percentage to the price. Now, that's first headwind. Second headwind, obviously, general tariffs for everything that doesn't qualify under the de minimis principle. That's going to be a tough look. Now, does the consumer stop spending as much? So we're talking about the retail side here, all right? Let's talk about the heavier side, AWS, Amazon Web Services. It's a big moneymaker for them, the biggest moneymaker for them. It's also where they have the best margins. That's more related to B2B, business to business, rather than B2C, business to consumer or to customer. So AWS is going to have to continue to keep going and growing at a good rate. Now, we saw their earnings report last time. We're getting slow. We're getting a reduction in the speed at which we're growing on AWS. So that's a concern. And we also saw Google with Google Cloud Platform miss on Google Cloud. So if that's the canary in the coal mine, well, we'll have to wait and see. Now, that's the story from the kind of the fundamental side. You saw this morning, though, Amazon come up and maybe antagonize the administration a little bit. I'm not really sure how to digest this piece of information. What they did was they said, look, any product on our website that goes up in price as a result of tariffs, we're throwing on the price. We're going to put like, oh, it went up by $4 as a result of tariffs. So all the tariff-related price increases are going to be disclosed on their website. That pissed off the administration. And then you had Scott Bessent and what's her name, Caroline Leavitt, do a really early presser this morning at the White House and basically just make the case and say that this wasn't good and they didn't like it. And Amazon sold off aggressively. Now, whether that's a continued thing or a quick market reaction, we'll have to wait and see. But Amazon will be interesting. I don't know, man. I just feel they are very tariff sensitive. That's just my opinion. Let's look at the technicals. So we're gonna look at the technicals in a second because we have to go to Adara.
I just want to clarify here, in case anyone missed it, there was an update on this Amazon story. We did have a spokesperson for the company comment and clarify this was never considered for Amazon's main website. However, it is still an active consideration for Amazon Haul, which is their Shia and Temu kind of comparison product there. To quote the spokesperson, the team that runs our ultra-low-cost Amazon Haul store has considered listing import charges on certain products. This was never a consideration for the main Amazon site, and nothing has been implemented on any Amazon properties. So Amazon spokesperson coming out to run a little bit of damage control with regards to this story ahead of their earnings report coming through on Thursday. Back to you.
It's one of those cases where you can't put the toothpaste back in the toothpaste container because we'll have to wait and see whether that they've pissed off the administration enough to kind of reap their the vitriol from that. So we'll have to wait and see. Technicals, it's a good double bottom over here. If I can show the chart at 165, but it's doing much like the overall market has been doing. It's got this higher low pattern coming into that previous area of support. I'm going to say around 190, and then making kind of a full stop at that 190 area. What keeps me optimistic about this type of pattern in here is the higher low situation. So you're almost looking like for that ascending wedge flat top break. We've seen that on many different parts of the market. Like, let's have a look at the NQs over here. This is going to be the daily on the NQ June contract. Same kind of thing. You have this, you know, 19,500 area top, or 600, whatever, you know, generally the same area. And we defended it for basically March 10th all the way when we gave up the ghost on a decisive basis to April 3rd. And now we're putting in those higher lows, inching up there. You're seeing that on a lot of these different Mag 7 names. There's Apple, same look. You'll see that on MSFT as well. They're all, well, MSFT not really, to be quite honest. Let's see who else. It would be NVDA. Let's see. No, NVDA not looking like that either. So the point is, we've got that higher low situation with that flat top. Let's see if we can break through it. I think we might get a nice tailwind if the earnings are better than expected, but it's always a wild card, man. Going into earnings, you never really know what to expect. But, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about this one for the tariff situation, Joseph.
Yeah, good point. I like some of the comments in the chat there as well, because I agree with this. So Guardian Angel says, I mean, how are they going to explain 125% increase on certain products? I mean, Amazon didn't ask for these tariffs, so if they want to display how much it costs with those tariffs, I think they have the right to do so. And if for Caroline Levitt to call it hostile and political, well, Amazon didn't ask for that, so I think they have every right to do so, to see the price increase, and that's just my personal opinion on that one. But let's see what we got going on here on IBIT. It looks like we want to break down. I was looking for that crack of the high day, and we're just not getting it. I added aggressively once again for that crack, but it seems to be with the ebbs and flows of the market are just going to trade eastward here today. So once we crack and hold, or break and hold the volume weighted average price here, then I'm going to get out of this position. So yeah, got to be patient and wait to see what's going on as the Qs are starting to pull in as well too. Gaurav was asking me, do I think the SPY can crack the high a day? Possibly, but if the big names don't want to participate, then I think it's going to have trouble doing so. Breadth is really, really tough. So yeah. Let's go. We're still positive. I mean, Bitcoin's still positive, up 0.25% on the session. And I was taking a look at the chain. I'll take another stab at to see what's going on. But we do have some overhead resistance. I mentioned this in the 40s and sorry, 54.50 is where I've seen that high level of open interest. I don't know if that's changed, and I doubt that it has in that quick of a time. So May 2nd, this week's expiration cycle, and I mean, it's nothing outstandish, right? So we can see at 55 we got 10,000 open contracts, and 54.5 we have 3,000, but then right at 54 is when we have that 17,000 current open contracts, and then we have to go all the way up to 57 to see where that possible max pain will be on the other side of this trade here, guys, with 30,000 open contracts at that $57 strike price. So yeah, let's be patient. Hopefully we can get the ball rolling. This is going to be my second stab at it. I told you I was putting on some size here, so I'm looking for that big move up to about 54.30, sorry, and crack of some of these pre-market levels. So I'll be patient and hold on for as long as I can, but with the market starting to pull back in and the Qs were trading relatively strong this morning, if we get any form of a pullback, I think this trade might be in trouble. So we'll just have to be patient and wait for things that are going to work out. I was expecting SoFi to continue this morning, and we didn't get that. We got the short on it after we realized that supply zone through the 14 halves, and then that's when we're like, okay, it's time to flip this bias to see what we can get going here. And it's unfortunate that I let go of it too early, but I would have liked to have been in a little bit more size here. From what I entered here and here, it's like a fraction of that size, but that's okay. Waiting for these trades to work out, and then I'm most definitely going to add into this IBIT position as well too, guys. Let's take a look at some of the top performing sectors this morning. So real estate is at the top of its class, up up about 0.75%. Consumer staples sitting in second place, up about 0.6, and then materials about 0.6 as well too, guys. So you can see slightly more defensive and a rotation going on here. We'll go from the bottom three to the last there, communication services in third last, only up about 0.2%. Energy sector in second last, same thing, down about 0.2 there, guys. And consumer discretionary, Sharif, down about 0.4% in last place there, my friend.
Nice. Here's what we're looking at for the small cap gappers on the day. Here are the 8 that I've got lined up. ULY was a good mover up. It has multiple, well, I think multiple halts, maybe one halt over here. Let's double check on the one, make sure we're accurate on that. Yes, it is just one halt over here. So it's that halt that took place, I believe. Is that accurate? Yeah, at 10:20. This was just no trading. The volume started coming in super late at around 10:30 or so. We'll keep an eye on that one. It is kind of spready, though, for a cheaper name, 9.55. So be careful with this one, okay? ULY is the one I'm talking about. Then you have OMH. I just got stopped out of that. It did break VWAP, so we'll go 0 for 1 to start the day. It's losing the volume-weighted average price, so I'm not chasing it down here. End of story on OMH. It's got to reclaim that 3.25 for me to get interested. It's not going to be enough just to get back above that 310. It's got to stay above there. It had a good support level at 3 that it couldn't hold. So my thinking here is, you know, if it just gets back above 3, it's probably a specialist breakout and then, you know, get everybody offside. ABVE though, this one is setting up like it may want to bull flag and then break through that $1.18, $1.17. The wicks go up a $1.18. The closing prints more around the $1.15. So we'll see if this one can catch some volume. But as you can see on the volume profile on the bottom there, it's down and to the right. So the volume's really drying up here on ABV, which isn't the look if you're looking for something to go up. Maybe it's not that bad for the volume profile to decline when you're dropping, but it's got to be going up for you guys for to take it long. IBIO. This one, I had my reservations about this because it kind of felt like IBIO was hugging the volume weighted average price from the south side. And that's what it's been doing essentially since double topping at that $1.40. Drops all the way quick as you like, back down into 117. That what's keeping me interested in this and what's keeping this on the side chart is the umpteen amount of higher lows that we've got here on every successive pullback, and then this flat top. Mostly at that $1.27, but ranging between a $1.27 and a $1.30. So what I like about this pattern is a possible ascending wedge. You can see how it's trading. It's got a 2 or 3 penny spread, which is quite wide for a dollar name, believe it or not, right? So we'll keep an eye out on this one. It's got to set up a little bit better for me to get involved. As you saw there, ULY is breaking out. It's almost at $10. The high of the day is 10.32. I'll submit to you guys, though, the real level to look for closing print above is that $10 area. As you can see, both closing prints are south of 10 on ULY, despite the fact that it's 10 1/3 high a day. Let's keep going on. So we've covered those 4. HSAI, not a big percentage winner on the day. It's up 8.5, a little bit more, but we'll see. This one's giving you dollars at a time. It opened up at like 15 1/3, weaseled up to 17 1/4, quick as you like. It's at VWAP right now. Another spready small cap gapper that, you know, displeases me. But this one was running a few days ago, so maybe we'll keep an eye on that if it sets up in the right way. Let's keep going here. RZLV. Got a whole bunch of resistance here at 250, and it's not just a level from today. This was the opening print high from yesterday, right at 9:30. We popped up all the way to 250, then all hell broke loose to the downside, dipping down into that 203. So it's trying to make yet another attempt to break that 250 area. I'm talking about $2.50. It's once, twice, OB thrice, and then a 4th time over here. Four attempts at that 250 area, all have been said no to. However, you know exactly what I'm going to say if you've been watching the show. The higher low situation with that flat top is an ascending wedge, a highly reliable pattern most of the time, at least intraday. We'll keep an eye out on this one for that 250 flat top break. CRWV CoreWeave. This one was an IPO from a few weeks ago. You probably remember this one. It's got a great move under its belt today. Not really exactly sure why. Let me just double check to see if there's a headline of note. CRWV. Not really looking there. Nothing from today. So yeah, nothing from today. Doesn't matter though. It's breaking out. More expensive, obviously. small cap gapper kind of name. Here comes the volume weighted average price at around 44.50, a little bit lower than 44.50, maybe 44.40. Again, another spready ticker. It's trying to find support at this. Dara, you're killing me, bro. It's trying to find support at this level over here, 44.70. That's basically the implied balance high from 10.15. It wicks up into about 44 and a third, 44 and a half, and then drops back down to 43. It's right at that level again. So if you want to get in here, you might have to front run the volume weighted average price to take advantage of previous area support now acting as resistance. We'll have to see how this one works. And last but not least guys, this one's given up the ghost. We're talking about HIMS. This was moving all sorts of crazy in the pre-market right at 7:30 when we got the headline that they were going to make a deal with Novo Nordisk, as well as their competitor, or not competitor, but kind of frenemy right now, Eli Lilly. Get it, Lilly, says Adara, because they're going to continue to sell their products despite the fact that they're compounding them and therefore competing with them. So HIMS giving up the ghost. It's not all the way back, but it's definitely off the highs, and the volume profile is dropping here, Joseph, but it's still up 18%. Not a bad look, guys, for HIMS.
Yeah, HIMS, that was a good one earlier in the pre-market, for sure. So yeah, guys, we got out of this IBIT trade. It wasn't working out for us. We just have to follow these trend lines. You can see that it broke through some key support levels here. And we were just constructing lower highs. So again, we got out of that one, pushing heavy on these trades. So yeah, I got to be really, really patient. I'm going to be frank with you guys. I don't love this price action here today. If we take a look at NVDA, we're just going east, right? Like this is literally eastward movement, good condor stuff. But I'm going to be patient and wait for some things. I want to see that volume really start to pick up. And my game plan is I want this to sit on top of 110 on the backside of that channel and then hold that channel so I can add some contracts into my swing position and just make it as heavy as I possibly can, because it's exactly how I'm feeling. But like, we can take a look at the cues as well too, guys. I don't love the, again, I'll talk about it throughout the day until we get some volume to step in. I don't absolutely love this price action. So if you're range trading, then it's great to sell the highs, buy the lows, and then maybe you can get that fluctuation within this because a lot of the names are trading sideways. So we got NVDA and PLTR is doing the exact same thing. We'll take a look at PLTR. I mean, this name is really strong, so I wouldn't mind taking it for a breakout, but I need that volume by time profile to tell me, hey, we're ready to break through all of this mess and go a little bit north of this. But I like it from a daily standpoint. It's just the continuation on this name is absolutely insane, Sharif. Once it broke 96 or 97s, it hasn't looked back. It hasn't even came back and retested that breakout zone. So that just displays a really, really strong stock. Are we going to head towards this all-time high of 124? Maybe, possibly. I think eventually we'll get there, but I just don't know how soon. 47%, we were down at one point, and then now we're only down, I would say, less than 10%, 8% off of that all-time high. So a beautiful, beautiful recovery here in PLTR, one of the stronger names. Katina Man's got that on his pick for the year, and it's most definitely outperforming a lot of names. So holding up really, really strong is PLTR. I don't know which way NVDA is going to break. I think that's such a great question. And what's going to display it to us is the volume, right? What we need to focus on is if we're either going to break it to the downside or to the top side, we want to see the participants of that party really start to put in some volume. And then that's when we can classify things as a genuine move and look for that breakup or that breakdown within this. But what we can do is just basic technical analysis from this point, right? You can see that we have a support level right here. And then you can see that we're also forming we're constructing these lower highs consistently throughout. I like the compression pattern. Now we just need to be patient and wait in order for that volume to step in and then confirm which direction we're going to break out. We know that we have a lot of open interest through 108 all the way through to 113 here on NVDA. So there's a lot of supply. Who's going to absorb that supply? I'm not too sure, but we're gonna head back to Adair and then we'll get back to these markets.
Breaking news here in a small cap. It is LUCY. You may remember Lucy or Lucy Innovative Eyewear. This company has made some big moves in the past. I remember Sharif trading this one over probably around a year ago, but LUCY making a nice push to the upside with news. They announced here on X their official launch of their partnership with Reebok Smart Eyewear powered by Lucid. So again, Lucid reportedly, or not reportedly, confirmed by the company to be powering Reebok's Smart Eyewear. So LUCY to the upside. Catalyst to your Reebok partnership. We have a 1.13 million share float and a 13% short float for LUCY. Back to you.
Anything there, brother?
Yeah, we're cooking up a couple of trades here. AREB, we're long. We just went the beak through 4 a few times. It's having trouble with 4, full disclosure. So shout out to, I forget who even mentioned this in the chat for you. I'm waiting here for the dip trade. There we go. Now I'm looking to defend it into 80s. So we have a better cost basis now. So let's throw out some orders on this bad boy. See if we can catch the move up if possible. AREB up about 17.75%. It's at the 10 exponential on the 1, not the 5. So I'm flipping back to the 5 to see exactly what the situation is. Now we've got a bit of a seller here in the mid 90s, excuse me. So let's see if we can catch that move up. It's a 1 penny spread, which is not that bad of a look for this one. The other one I'm involved in, RZLV. We're break even on this one. It's showing me 49s. I'm long 50s. So looking for this one to continue north. We'll see what this one wants to do. Back to AREB because this is the one I'm trying to focus on the most. I'm worried that the sellers are incrementally moving down step by step. So we were getting rejections at 98s. Now we're getting them at 96s. So I'm trying to keep an eye out on this one. AREB now, it broke out quite aggressively. So it's one of those situations where the volume weighted average price is markedly higher than the 10 exponential moving average. The 10 exponential is around 350, while VWAP's around 3 3/4. So it's nothing that I can do here with 3 3/4. With the 10 exponential moving average, it's going to be a defendant of VWAP. VWAP, as I mentioned, about 373. So I'm trying not to get too quickly into this level, knowing that I may have to defend that volume weighted average price. It's zigging and zagging right now. So let's throw out the order at VWAP in the mid 70s. I'm going to throw that right now as it does drop into that level. So let's see if we can pick something up there. It'll let us in. So now let's move our stop into the defend of VWAP. So we're going to go like this and then all the way back down into here. Sorry, just give me a second. Adjust my stop. There we go. We'll throw that stop on there. So now it's going to have to hold VWAP. Otherwise, I want nothing to do with it. Back to this one over here. We're still waiting on RZLV to break through 50. Where do we got now? So we got 50s. Let's go ahead and wait at 52s as well to de-risk just a skosh. So keeping my eye on AREB. We got 93s on now on AREB. So it behooves me to weasel out some in the mid 90s for a pop up, but it's going to have to hold VWAP. Otherwise, I'm Gonzino, Joseph.
Gonzino, all right. Yeah, guys. So that wedge is starting to break out here on NVDA. I posted up to add a little bit more to the position for the retest of this area. You can see it's starting to come in. But one thing that we need to pay attention is to this right here, folks, all right? So you can see we're not getting that breakout volume that we necessarily need just yet. We can obviously stair step, but I'm posted up here looking for the add. Unless we completely break down, I do believe that we can continue to climb higher, but there's going to be a big major issue. And sometimes we need to follow it. If we decide that we want to crack through some key support levels, then we have to listen to what the market is telling us. And what is exactly it telling us right here? Look at this supply zone all the way. I just mentioned this from 118 to 113. That is quite a bit of liquidity that needs to be absorbed. So who's going to absorb that? Who's going to grab it so we can have enough demand to climb higher? I wish I could, Sharif. So then we can just continue to move, continuously move higher and have that path of least resistance that we currently and always talk about here on the show. So again, hyper focus on this. This is why we're kind of stalling. We're getting that sideways type price action. But if we are going to break through, we're going to need to blow past all of these strike prices in order for us to get in any form of, I'm not going to call it blue skies, but into cleaner price action type trading. There you go. I just caught a fill on that ad. If we break down here, I'm going to have to get out at the crack of the support zones. So again, we're focusing on this to see if we can get through that. If not, we got to listen to what the market is telling us, and there might be a potential short to be had here on NVDA. Still positive on the session, but just holding on by a thread, Sharif.
Okay.
So I would like to break, obviously I would like it to break up. I'm sure a lot of people would as well too, but again, we need to focus right here.
Well said.
This is going to be a very inflection point here in this trade. Los Polio says he's long Qs. It's a tough look, brother. It's a tough look for these longs, especially if NVDA decides that it wants to break down. It's not going to be a good look. We got the likes of Google also heading south of the volume-weighted average price, and if we want to go through some of these big names, we are slowly starting to curl over with the likes of Amazon as well, too. So, I think today's one of those wider stop type sessions and just like smaller size, all right? Smaller size, wider stops, especially until we get that confirmation on the breakout. And I told you there's going to be multiple signals that will give us that confirmation, and that's going to be the volume by time profile. And then you're going to see that momentum and the speed come into the time of sales. And that's exactly what we're looking for here. And we're going to be patient to wait if that comes in. I think we're positioned really well here in NVDA. We're right at the volume weighted average price, exactly where we want to be, because now our risk profile is defined. If it cracks the lows, we're going to get out of this trade, but we're looking for the breakup here in NVDA, Sharif.
VWAP doesn't work, they say.
Who said
Don't
that?
buy it
Who's
off
they?
VWAP, they say.
Who's they?
VWAP's just a line on the chart, they say. It doesn't matter, Neil.
Who said?
Come on now. Boom! A VWAP dip trade on AREB. I'm getting excited. I mean, look. We gotta get a little excited.
Did you say VWAP?
Joseph, I'm setting you up perfectly for this, bro. I mean, if I don't see that video in 5 seconds, Joseph, I'm gonna be really disappointed, bro. Where is it at, bro? Where is it at? There it is. There's my guy.
Go check it out.
My guy.
3,400 views now. Go check it out. What is it? Sharif just nailed the VWAP trade. I'm in right at VWAP. It may or may not work. It's looking like it's not gonna work, but what will work is you watching this video and hitting the like. Much appreciated on that front. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. You suck, Jose. Shut up. So I got VWAP at 378 on this one. We scalped up a storm through $4, so good luck there. Very happy about this trade. We'll keep this one on the hook. AREB, whoever told me about this one in the chat, I think it was Brent Rex. I'm not really exactly sure. It's a lot of messages coming in fast and furious there. So thank you for pointing this one out. I didn't actually have eyes on AREB, but this is a good look right now. We'll keep an eye out on this one. The other one I'm involved in, RZLV. This one continues to put in those higher lows, but we continue to have trouble with that $0.50. I'm still kept quite optimistic about this one because of the ascending wedge pattern at 250 with that flat top being at $2.50. So we'll see exactly what we get there. There is a seller of note. You can obviously see that at the 50 level exactly and in the low 50s. I'm talking about 51s, 52s, et cetera, something in and around there. So we'll keep tabs on that. I've got one piece left here on AREB. I'm going to let this one print at either 4.25 or I get stopped out. Simple as that. It's one or the other. So we're going to pack our patience and see which one comes first. Back to RZLV, excuse me. Looking again at this one. Look, if this one rejects 250 and then it comes back down, I'm picking more up here at around 245, 244. It's been quite respectful. I'm talking about RZLV of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. And if that's going to be the case, then let me take advantage of it and actually size in. So I got some at 46s. I don't mind adding at 40. Now that I actually look at that, I may be hesitant to do that. The reason I'd say that now, having looked at it further, is because if I pick it up at 44s, well, then that's another low. So we held up here at 45s. I don't really want to see a lower low. I want to see a higher low, higher low, higher low with a flat top at around 250. So that's what I'm thinking on this one. I'm letting AREB kind of decide what it wants to do, whether it wants to break above 4 or break down. Now that we've de-risked the majority of the position, my focus now will be on RZLV. It's now clearing 50. It's showing me 51s on the ask, but it's so thickly traded. Every time it comes around there, it does end up rejecting. So let me throw out an order, man. I'm going to throw an order at 6s. So we're going to go ahead and wait at 6s, just like we did before. See if we can pick some more up there. I'm more convinced about this trade, so keep an eye out on that one. CRWV is losing the volume-weighted average price quite quickly. So this one, I'm happy I didn't punch into this one at VWAP. It didn't hold up at 45. That area crested the implied balance high at around 44 2/3. and now it's like almost $2 below that at 43.5. So CoreWeave losing the bid quite quickly over here. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that one. If you're going to trade it, be careful with that. All right, here we go. RZLV back up into 52s. That's going to be my first profit taker. But as I've mentioned, very thickly traded and really having trouble taking out levels that decisively. It feels like it takes some time. But ABVE, man, this one continues to run quite aggressively. It just printed the day high at $1.26, so it's above $1.25. Look at that flat top break, man. Beautiful bull flag pattern. We talked about that 115 being where the closing prints were. 118 is where the wicks are. So I'm a buyer here on ABVE at the volume, or sorry, not the volume weighted average price. Well, I might pick up some there, but I'm going to pick some up in off either 15s or 18s. Okay, my thinking here is that was an obvious level of resistance. So if it does come back into that level, I take my chances for it to be support this time. So that's my thinking about that one. Okay, now we're taking prints here, baby, on RZLV. All right, so there's the first print so far. Let's get some more out here, man, because we got some shares. So there we go. Boom, into 54s. Now we're waiting at 55s. Joseph, what do we got on now? 49s? Yeah, we're celebrating 6 pennies over here. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, 55s. We'll throw it in order there. So we'll take out as many shares as we can on the pop-up. But I really want to focus on ABVE, guys, because it is worth our respect here. It is breaking out. $1.27 high day right now. It's printing 26s, so clearly this one hanging out at day's high. Let's go ahead and throw that dip trade that we talked about at 18s and 15s. So I'm going to throw out two, 118 and 115. Let's see if we can get something on this bad boy, 115. Let's throw that on there. Now we got both on there and they're both active, so we don't need to manage that. Let's go back to RZLV. How we doing? More prints, baby. Just took out 55, so another beak wetter there. Looking for this one to continue to clear. Sadly, though, your friend AREB, it doesn't like that. It doesn't like that $4. We need that ARAB money. Come on, bro. Let's clear 4 so we can get that 4.25. Adara, what's up?
Auto names, because Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary of the U.S., making some comments here, bless you, on these auto tariffs. It is worth noting he's supposed to speak on CNBC at 2 p.m., so unclear if this is a replacement for that interview or just additional comments, but either way, keep an eye out for Lutnick at 2 p.m. Currently, though, I'm seeing that he's saying that adjustments to these auto tariffs, which are reported earlier today, these are being reported here. He said these adjustments are aimed at allowing domestic automakers time to grow U.S. plants and employment. We've long understood that the goal of these Trump tariffs, at least according to him and his administration, is to boost U.S. production and U.S. jobs. So Howard Lutnick basically said that these executive orders are designed to do that, and that's why they want to give the automakers a little bit more time. The EOs grew from detailed conversations with domestic car makers, so talking to people in the industry and coming to this decision. That's what I'm seeing here. Also, some other comments here coming from the U.S. Interior State Department, but Lutnick here on Watch making comments on these U.S. auto tariffs. Furthermore, once again, we are expecting comments from him at 2 p.m. on CNBC. Back to you.
Howard, yeah.
Did I tell you about that data point that they had on the all-in the other on the weekend?
No, I don't think so.
So on days where Besant talks, well, this morning he talked. I don't know how well we're going to do. Actually, we're up on the market, Joseph. Besant, the call, Lutnick, the put.
Yeah?
Essentially.
Lutnick
That's what you just
put,
get. Just bring it from the end without giving you all the data.
Do you have that? Do you have the thing?
The data?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
they had it on the pod. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's interesting.
So there you go. Just buy the call and buy the put, man. If only it were that easy, my
I know, right?
Sharif. The Lutnick put, I like that. It has a little bit of, has a little ring to it.
The lunatic put.
Yeah, the lunatic put, guys. If we can
I don't even dislike him. I just like saying lunatic.
Yeah, because it goes.
I just don't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, hey, we didn't really talk too much about the Canadian election, but yeah, Mr. Mark Carney.
Oh yeah.
Taking the W yesterday. So here we go, guys. I'm looking to add into this position. We're starting to break out through some of these. We're sitting on the backside of this trend here now, so that can be a positive sign if it can be sustained and we can hold these levels, then maybe we can get this long to continue here. So that price compression pattern coming into full effect, now sitting on the backside of this trend. If we can hold up there, then I think we'll be okay. I just got added into this position once again. So looking for the crack of some of these key resistance zones. But Los Polio said a very valid point. He said we got to watch out for those walls through those specific strikes that we were talking about. So again, we'll be patient, but we're going to see what Adair's up to, guys. We're going to get right back into NVDA.
MP here, really strong. This is MP Materials Corp is the name of this company. So basically what happened here is we are seeing comments from Interior State Department member Burgum saying that the U.S. is considering taking an equity stake in minerals companies. So keep an eye on all minerals companies here. MP, I believe TMC is also in this space, but MP really popping on this. Once again, Interior State Department spokesperson or leader here, Burgum, saying that the U.S. is considering taking an equity stake in minerals companies, so they are understandably moving to the upside on this. We also have more comments from Lutnick, who's saying that the manufacturers of U.S.-built autos are going to get a 15% offset for the value of those vehicles against the parts imports. Back to you.
What happened?
Let's go, NVDAs. Just start to break out. We need that volume to still start to pick up for us guys there. Enter the position. Triple it up, add some more out here at the breakout. Like let's go here.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get this breakout. I have to cut now at the breach of the volume weighted average price. So this is kind of even though we don't see that momentum stepping in right now, this is one of those plays where we need to either squeeze or we're gonna just break right down. But let's go, guys. You see the aggression in the ads here, and that's exactly what I'm aiming to do. So let's break out. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's get into that 110 strike where we
get it, Joe.
And we're gonna hold on to this for as long as we can. You guys are seeing that. I did this live. I posted those orders. I showed you what we were doing. So yeah, Steve Day, we're getting spicy up in here. There's no doubt about it. IBIT's continuing to climb higher. Let's get some order into this market. And NVDA, sit on the backside of this trend, and then best believe your boy's gonna be grabbing more contracts. Watch out, because it's gonna be a monster trade. I think that we can continue to climb into the mid 120s here on NVDA, and here we go. That volume is starting to pick up on the lower time frame. I was referring to those price compression patterns. We talk about it with you guys all the time. You're seeing us doing it right here. We love it.
Are you doing it live though?
We're doing it live, Sharif. And make sure that you go and watch the VWAP video. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known how to put on this trade.
I love this. This is going to be a running gag forever, bro.
Yeah, if you didn't watch it, you would have no idea why Sharif was trading at VWAP, why I'm in at the volume weighted average price, and the chances are my guy Gorb and Los Polios are in at VWAP as well too. Why? Because they watched the video. So go and check it out and see what we got cooking up here. NVIDIA positive now on the day. 0.4%, Sharif. Let's see if we can continue to climb and sustain this breakout.
All right, guys, we're doing it freaking live here on RZLV. We're taking multiple prints to the top side. Now we're waiting at 57. Let's go ahead and wait at 59. I usually do that for 69. I feel bad doing that. 59, we'll wait there. We're also doing it freaking live on AREB. This one did move up into 415, but it got a little greedy. Full disclosure, I didn't want to take it out there. I wanted that 25 print. I've only got one more out on this bad boy, and now it's coming in against me. So the deal is going to have to hold up here, above my entry at 378. We're currently 20 pennies in the money. I don't mind giving this one a little bit of room. I'm talking about AREB and RZLV. Now, I got into a newer position now, and I'm in 3 pennies out of the money on this one. I'm talking about ABVE. So I wax poetic about that $1.15 to $1.18 being that level of key support. It was previously a resistance. I'm looking for it to be support this time, now that it's weaseled up into a $1.33. So here's the deal. Anything below that 108 area, we're gone Zeno. We've got 17s on. It's giving me 15, so I don't feel too bad about this, but I'm looking to stack up the orders above 20. So that's my move right now on ABVE. Let's see if we can get a print on this one, but we're doing it live right now on both AREB, which is coming in again here, and RZLV. Adara, I hear there's breaking news.
Yeah, there's a nice little push up here in these automakers, including Stellantis and GM. Howard Lutnick, U.S. Commerce Secretary, saying that tariff relief is available to all U.S.-built vehicles. Furthermore, he also said that the tariff will apply to foreign car makers building in the U.S., so that's kind of confusing. But either way, looks like any vehicle built in the U.S. will be eligible for this tariff relief, according to Howard Lutnick. It's also said to be phased over 3 years to allow automakers to produce supply chains in the U.S., because, again, that's been one of their stated goals as of late of these tariffs, to have more U.S. production. So keep an eye on this story. Also, Howard Lutnick set to speak around 2 p.m. on CNBC, so likely we'll get more comments from him at that time. Back to you.
Good. Yeah, let's see what we got going on here, guys. One thing I will note is that I don't love the 5-minute time frame volume by time profile right here. We need to crack through this, and with that, we need the volume to be sustained and continue to the top side. I mean, on the 1 minute, it looks like a fantastic trade, but we're holding on to this position until 109.50, so another 50 cents until we look to start to take some profit here, guys, because we're looking for a break of some key specific levels. In order for us to do so, we need that volume to really, really step in. So, Stevenson, my guys.
What happened?
VUAP for the win. Shout out Joseph and Shreve. Thank you for that $2 super chat. I know you've been killing it, man. You've been telling me the numbers that you've been putting up. And he's been frank, too. He's like, Joe, listen, my journal, it's one of the truest, roughest spots there. I'm glad that he goes over that. He goes over his journal, whether it be personal or data-dependent journal. But then he's also like, Joe, listen, I was on a bad streak. It wasn't working out for me. Any suggestions? I'm like, do this. Next day, the guy comes up to me, bang, $2,000 day or something
Easy.
like that. Like that. So it's just like, bam, okay, good work there, Stevenson. Keep up that stuff. And I know a lot of traders in the chat have been doing so. So let's be patient. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. I know seeing that breakout here was nice, but we need the continuation, and most definitely we need the volume by time profile to confirm that we are going to have this sustained breakout, and that's what I'm looking for. Once we get closer to that 110, because that's where we have the highest levels of open interest, is when we're going to start to peace out, all right? So, sorry, 113 might even be in the works today, guys. If we can get through 110 and 111, then we might be able to get up into those 113 areas, and that's going to be absolutely fantastic, but we need to take one step at a time. Let's see what Adair is up to.
The Trump administration is very chatty today, to put it lightly, on Trump's 100th day in office for a second term. Howard Lutnick saying that they actually have discussed specific plans with automakers with regards to this tariff relief, but he's going to leave it up to them to announce. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Furthermore, he said that this tariff relief plan is, and I quote, finish your cars in America and you win. So really continuing to emphasize their goal of increasing U.S. production with regards to this U.S. auto tariff relief. Now for a very interesting update on the Amazon story. So in case you missed it earlier, we had some reports that Amazon was going to be adding tariff costs labels here on their website. Then Caroline Leavitt in the White House came out to say that they found the move to be hostile and political. The stock dropped. Then we have an Amazon spokesperson saying that A, this only was apparently in consideration for Amazon Haul, which is their Temu or Shein equivalent, and B, that nothing's actually gone into effect yet. So with all that context in mind, we have another update on this story. CNN reporting that apparently President Donald Trump called Jeff Bezos, who is the former CEO of Amazon, to complain about the tariff label reports. So just an interesting update here with regards to that. You may see an infographic in the near future tracking the stock's movements today on these tariff moves. So check out X at TTV Research. And with that, I send you back to the Bash Brothers.
Thank you for that one. And 15 shekels here. Sharif from Ruby. Joseph, you the best. SoFi is flying towards the volume weighted average price. No, Ruby, you're the best. And Sue, because they have Cristiano Ronaldo in their profile picture there. So much appreciated. I mean, I don't know if I'm a CR7 fan or a Messi fan, to be honest with you.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. Sharif would definitely know who is actually the better one. I think Messi's the better scorer. No, right?
That could cause a riot.
Riot. Okay, we don't want to get into it.
Yeah. It's just like going to a comic book store and asking who's the best superhero.
Ooh.
You'll cause a riot. You know what I mean? Who needs that?
Riot. All right, guys, put it in the chat. Messi or Ronaldo. That's all that matters right now.
Put 10 or 7.
10 or 7. There you go.
10 or 7. Let's go. 7. Is it 10
put
or 7?
Put it in the chat. 10 or 7.
Oh,
we like
pick
that.
neither. R9. Neil is dropping hot lines in the chat.
I don't even know who R9 is, but that's okay.
The older Ronaldo.
Oh,
you know the Brazilian Ronaldo?
Oh,
the guy with that. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember
hair?
that guy. We got 10. Ooh, we got 10.
What?
My boy wouldn't like this.
Oh, I thought you were looking at me. I'm like, what did I do?
Me? What?
He's looking at Joe. You don't know the Brazilian
man, I'm
Ronaldo.
not that big of a soccer guy. Let's go.
Oh, look at
10s.
this. Look at this, bro. 10, 7, 7.
Crazy.
Yeah, we need some sort of count here. Where's the AI at when you need it?
We don't even need a count right now, Sharif. Look at this, just absolute domination by Lionel.
Lionel, that's okay. It's all good.
Oh, that's real funny.
8.5 Ozan. What is your problem today, Ozan? I love this guy, bro. He's like, I'm short. I'm like, what are you, short the market? He's like, no, I'm short you. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
you just woke up and violent. I'm trying to be nice, calling you out, yelling China, whatever you need it.
And we do e-signal.
And we do e-signal.
And we do e-signal at some point today. 10 or 7.
I'm going 10.
The poll is up there.
Can we talk about this? Natural talent?
Yeah.
Lionel Messi.
Okay, natural, yeah.
A lot of hard work every day. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I bust my ass. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
So that's kind of like the Alexander Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby.
Oh, I remember that
debate, right? Like I would say, Ovi is more naturally talented, obviously him breaking the all-time goal record. But when it comes to work ethic and like just being a captain and like a overall team player, you go with Sidney Crosby.
That's huge, bro.
Right?
That's huge. Ronaldo, look, I think Ronaldo was a lot more vocal of a captain. You know, if you're not playing well, he's going to call you out. Messi was that quiet assassin. He leads by example, not by words. You know what I mean? Like, exactly, different kind of guy.
But yeah, there we go. I'm gonna tell my my boy Johnny, the one who's also long Trump coin, that Messi is absolutely dominating the space. Okay.
There was this video online yesterday of this Miami guy. He's a rich crypto millionaire, and he ended up hooking up with some woman. And she ended up stealing but she stole Trump coin. So I was like, hold on, how much is left for there to be? Like, what kind of profits does my man have on Trump coin? And she transferred it to her own wallet. She's, she's not supposed to be in the country, so they're trying to boot her out of the country. But he doesn't want her to leave till he gets his crypto back. And so he's trying to coordinate with the Department of Homeland Security or Customs or whatever.
Yeah,
bro. Got to put that password properly.
You got to have a tough password on there.
Yeah, that 123 is not going to work,
no,
boys.
That 123 Trump coin is not is not going to work.
Good look there. All right, guys. I'm still in 2 positions right now. ABVE is the one that I've got shares on right now, okay? Well, for me anyway, not like Katina Man shares. But this one is supposed to be holding this $1.15 area. I've given it down to 108. This one doesn't look like it's going to hold. So I may have gotten this one wrong. We'll have to wait and see whether it holds or not. I've already got my stop in place below 108. If it pops back up, all the better. The level that I was looking at was between $1.15 to $1.18. That was the top end of the bull flag range. It broke above that, going to $1.33. And so when it came back to test those levels, I said, hey, why not look to see if that former area of resistance acts as support. So far, I'm break even on it. It's back to 116. Nothing really to report about. RZLV, AREB, I got stopped out for the remaining couple of outs that I had, which was whatever. We got bottom wick on this one. We took it through 4. It did work its way up to 415, but I was assistant on 425. And my stubbornness maybe kind of left some profits on the table over here. RZLV, this one, we still got a couple of outs left on this one, and I'm trying to decide whether this is the appropriate area to add into this position, okay? It's yet another 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart pullback, and it's holding up at the area. But I hate when the 10 exponential or a key technical indicator overlaps with a psychological area of support or resistance. I'm talking about that 50 penny level because that's where we're at right now on RZLV. We're having a lot of trouble closing and staying above 50, even though you can see we wicked well above 50, but not on a closing basis. I was able to get those prints because I had resting orders waiting there if the price popped up above 50 to take the order. So I'm unsure how to proceed right now on RZLV, whether it's the appropriate area to add or whether just to kind of take the profits and run. My thinking, I'm more inclined to want to add here and then move up my stop a little bit tighter. So currently my stop is below 42. I can move, if I add here at 48, I can just move it to 45s or 46s below the area I added into. So that's exactly what I'm going to do actually. So I'm going to do just that. I don't know, Joseph. This current candle that just closed on the 5 has me re-guessing that whole analysis. So I'm going to go ahead and add, whatever.
Do it.
All right, so that we're adding here. We're doing it live. So now it gives us a bit of a worse cost basis, but that's fine. So let's go ahead and put a profit taker at 53s and see what we can get in and around there. So the only 2 trades I've got on are ZLV. We got the majority of this position out, but we just added a little bit right now. And this one, ABVE, it's not boring me. That's not the word I want to use, but it's so indecisive. It's at that critical level. It's neither failing it nor moving above it. So we're going to have to see which way this cookie crumbles, baby.
Absolutely. We got some good questions in the chat. Like, Joseph, what is the expected move here on Hood for tomorrow's report? I like that. So we're going to break down some of these EMs, guys. So what we got is Hood tomorrow. We're going to go over Visa, Starbucks, and Snapchat as well, too, but we're going to take some time on that front. It's not looking too good on NVDA right now, so we'll touch back on that momentarily. Hopefully this is just a pullback, and then we can continue this breakout. But here we go. We're looking at a just under 12% expected move on Robinhood, so that can put us at a high of around 54.62 and a low of 42.96. Now let's go over Visa and see what Visa's got in store for us this evening. So yeah, we're looking at roughly about a 4% expected move as well, too, guys. Could put us at a high of 352 and a low of 325. Starbucks, I don't know. Last time, I'm glad Selena doesn't like going there anymore. 'Cause that place is expensive. SPUX Starbucks. So here we go, guys. 7% expected move can put us at a high of around 89.97 and a low of 78.13. And then we will do Snapchat because I think that one's going to be interesting as well, too. So we will see what Snap has got in store for us this week, guys. About a 17% expected move here can put us at a high of 1061 or a low of 750. So there's that one. And here we go. We're not getting that sustained breakout here on NVDA. Hopefully this is just going to be a pullback into the breakout zone. We can hold that and continue to the north side. But with the overall market looking like this, odds are not necessarily in our favor, I believe. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Hopefully I am wrong. But when the market looks like it wants to break down and we're looking for these long trades, it may not be the best idea because I know SoFi is no market mover, but that's around the low of days. Palantir is about to crack some key support levels and head toward the low of day. NVDA is at that test of that breakout zone there. We didn't take any off. I told you guys the specific target, but we will get out so we don't take any significant form of a loss on that front. Now let's see what Amazon is up to because we had that news and I told you guys my opinion on that one and how I feel on that. So you can see we're still hovering to above the volume weighted average price. That's a positive sign. Let's see if we can continue in this strength and start to recover here in AMZN. What is Meta up to? Meta is right around the volume weighted average price as well too. And we'll take a look at Google to see what Goggles is cooking up on the day. It was below VWAP last time I checked. Okay, so now we got a little bit of a bounce hovering above it. So some choppy sideways price action here in the morning. You can see the ebbs and flows within some of these bigger names. Let's see if we can get NVDA to sustain this breakout. Hopefully that was just a liquidity grab, and then we can take that additional leg higher and run into those 110, 111 strike prices. But I mentioned that overhead resistance. This is going to be a factor. We are actually fighting what the options chain is telling us, and we don't always want to do that. We went and we followed the options chain with SoFi because we seen that supply zone at 1450. That's eventually when we found the setup for the short, and that's exactly what I believe what we should be doing. Price compression pattern. If we can't sustain the breakout, then there might be a short here on NVDA, Sharif.
Boom! Man. There we go. Finally, ABVE. Give me a print, man. Yeah, it's a little subdued though, man. I was looking for a bigger move up. Just get a quick, and that's it. That's all I'm getting, ABV.
That's all they're giving you, man?
Fine.
Come on, man.
Guys, ULY. Wowzers. So this one, it did hold up. It did hold up at the 10 exponential after reclaiming the volume weighted average price, and by extension of that, obviously the 10 exponential around 11.15. It's been quite respectful of that level since getting above there, but it's very spready. The range per candle. The range per candle, I know, it's okay. The range per candle is quite wide as well. You can kind of just keep an eye on how much notional it's moving per candle, and it's quite wide. So be ready for aggressive retracements if you get it on the wrong level. My suggestion to you guys, if you're going to trade ULY, is to pick it up off key levels. Wait for that dip trade to come in. It spends a lot of time there sometimes. Like, look at this over here. When it dropped down at 11:20, it ended up holding the 10 exponential for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. It was quite respectful of it. So if you put your stop right below the 10 exponential, you didn't get stopped out. So this is one of those ones where you're going to have to catch it at the lows, it feels like, and then maybe try to take it higher. The breakout trades, if you can kind of see that, haven't really worked. So if you're taking the breakout trades on ULY, you might be in some trouble. My suggestion to you is try to pick it up off a key retracement level. Let me know how it goes. We are now going to Adara, and then we're going to go to Neil's lesson of the day after that.
This happening now is maybe more of a what's happening with regards to talks from the Trump administration on tariffs, because that is going to be the main story here today. We have more comments from Howard Lutnick that I want to break down, but let's talk here first about the NASDAQ. Slightly positive on the day, up 0.11%. S&P 500 up about 0.18%, so slightly stronger than the NASDAQ on a percentage basis, but these charts look almost identical. Not a ton of economic data for the rest of the day. We did get slightly lower than expected JOLT shop openings and CB consumer confidence at 10 a.m. But until that point, we're going to get comments from Commerce Secretary Lutnick on CNBC at 2 p.m., then Trump speaking at 6:10 p.m. So let's talk about these auto tariffs, because we know that Howard Lutnick has been talking about these auto tariffs for quite some time. And we have some more, admittedly kind of confusing comments coming through from Lutnick ahead of his CNBC appearance at 2 p.m. He said basically that with regards to this auto tariff relief that some auto manufacturers will be able to get if they build in the U.S., he's saying that the auto manufacturers will basically be picking the highest tariff that comes with their goods, and they will only pay one. So they'll pay either the steel or the auto tariff, whichever is higher. Bit of an odd system, but then again, Howard Lutnick also said the automakers themselves, it's up to them when they want to announce this. So we're not really going to get a lot of details as to individual automakers and how they're impacted by this until they choose to announce it themselves, according to Lutnick. Then we have Amazon. AMZN here stubbed into a pretty huge pre-market story. This, as you can see here, dropped pretty aggressively after White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called reports that the company was going to be applying tariff charge labels on their website as hostile and political. Then Amazon themselves comes out and they say that this was actually only ever going to potentially apply to Whole, which is their Temu Shein side of their business, and that they haven't actually applied any labels at all as of yet. Then we had some more reports that coming through that Donald Trump apparently called Jeff Bezos, former CEO of Amazon, to complain about these reports. So not a lot of clarity, but lots of excitement in this market, that is for sure. But before we send you back to the Bash Brothers, we have to remind you to like and subscribe and listen up for Neil's lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil.
Lesson of the day inspired by Adara today. Why? Because she's always giving you the news, everybody. Make sure that you're not trading blind. Make sure that you're listening in and reacting to catalysts, which lately it's headline after headline after headline after headline. And you know what? Sometimes it's like, okay, well, something has changed in the stock. It could be a stock's tanking, and then all of a sudden news hits and it's going to rip. It was just an Intel headline. It just bounced a little bit here. Or at times you just get a ridiculous move, like WW and HIMS, which I'll get to the upside. And then it's all about what happens in the continuation. And I'll also get to Amazon, because that one came out of nowhere. I think a lot of times there's this euphoria when you get a squeeze or a big spike. HIMS had the Novo partnership, and you can see it just shot in the pre-market straight up. But you have to consider what that secondary money does after the news is now disseminated and the stock has gone back into some sort of a normal mode. And oftentimes, everyone wants to join the move, but if you look at this on HIMS in particular, it's pure parabolic, little consolidation, another parabolic move. Ignore the dark pool wicks there. It pulls into VWAP, but at that point, it easily broke in the steep upward trend, any way you want to cut that. And it gives you the consolidation, it tries to bounce, but then going into the open, once, again, money comes in at the open, which is another sign, it just immediately drops. And at that point, you have the news disseminating, parabolic. You have the let's breathe phase that was selling. You have the open that was selling. You're in a pretty distinct downward trend. And the only thing you can do outside of playing the shorts, because that's the way it's trending, is wait, 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 wait. because until I didn't even get into this thing long until, I mean, I saw it break this double bottom and then hold the low. I'm like, ooh, I should be looking long at that particular point. And then I said, okay, well, how can I execute a trading strategy? Just go with the trend from VWAP and then get into that trend line. You've got to wait forever for it to break back out because, yeah, sure, it was positive news and it gapped higher and it was running, but then it went into an immediate downward trend. So you got to be not aggressive in terms of buying the dip. Like, you've got to be incredibly patient. I wish I had the same approach on SoFi. And then just to give you a juxtaposition, WW was the opposite of that. Like, it ran in the pre-market. Once the open hit, it was continuing to break out. It pulled back, didn't get to any of those prior lows, and then it resumed an upward trend. So this is something where it confirmed the upward trend at the open and then made some higher lows that you could work yourself off of. And that's all well and good. It's easier when that happens on WW. But Amazon is most of the reason why, because this is about as clear as it gets. Now, I was long Amazon into VWAP, but when that news dropped, which obviously you can think whatever you want about it, I thought it was a bit of an overreaction that Amazon dropped like $5 on the headline that they were essentially criticized for potentially putting the tariff prices on their products. Now, you look at the bottom it made, and then you look at the dip at the open. It puts in one higher low. Okay, that's sign number one. Then right there, 10 minutes after the open, it puts in another. Now, I wish I could tell you that I had started observing this trend there, but I didn't. I missed it. There's no question about it. It puts in another higher low on trend at 10 o'clock. Then it puts in another higher low when it was reported that the story might not be true, that they might not be looking to actually engage in putting the prices on all their products. At this point, not only has it made higher lows, there's your news drop, there's the low, and then ever since then, not only was it holding higher lows the whole way through, it was holding the exact same trend line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times on a 3-minute chart. 5 times you could have gone dip buy hunting. If you only needed confirmation 3 times, then you had 2 longs before you were just taking it long, admittedly myself, because they said that the story was kind of bogus. So I'm going long because the story's bogus, but the reaction after the news was a trend up to negative news. The same way it was trend down, and you had to observe the trend down over in, it was not WW. WW was the other way. In HIMS, you had to wait for it to break that trend or go short. Amazon was just along at every step of the way. Now, you don't know for sure, I don't think, until the third one after the open, and then you start playing it on trend line. Eventually, I take the trade, but you've got to recognize that there's an event, and there's a news spike, and there's sometimes a parabolic move. When liquidity comes back into the stock, a new trend is highly likely to come in. Now, whether that trend continues to move or that trend is counter is what you're trying to observe. Because unless you're holding, like if you're holding Amazon short from up here, different story. You're just working the short position that you're in. Or if you're one of those fortunate people in HIMS that's like long at 30, fair enough. You're just working the rest of your long, whatever it might be. But if you're looking to get into a trade, well, it's been short since it made that pre-market high. All you can do is wait for it to break a trend patiently, or you're working short entries, I suppose. You've got to be able to recognize after news, it's kind of like the 3-day rule in earnings. You got to let it calm down and reestablish a new trend. There were plenty of examples I could have used today, but Amazon that one really just screamed at me, given the fact that we missed that long like 3 separate times. And look at it, it's about to go green as well. And before we send you back to the boys, we'll go to the desk again to Adara, who's keeping you guys informed.
More context coming through here from Howard Lutnick on this auto tariff relief. We've heard a lot of comments from him on the auto tariff relief. It's not all super clear. In fact, he basically said that the automakers are going to announce it themselves, so we'll have to wait till they announce it. And that they can basically pick and choose which tariffs they want to accept. So kind of a different approach, but regardless, these new comments coming in from Lutnick are pretty interesting. Howard Lutnick, U.S. Commerce Secretary, saying that the 2 years was basically a given upon time or an agreed upon time for these auto tariff reliefs to give these manufacturers significant time to build up their supply chain. However, after these 2 years of relief, which, as I mentioned earlier, Howard Lutnick says is going to be phased, once these 2 years are done, there is no third year of relief. So this tariff relief for automakers is strictly on a 2-year timeline. Back to you and back to the Bash Brothers. Thank you, Neil.
Thanks, Dara. Guys, I was trying to show you guys something that you can see on the immediate ask. We were really stacked, and we got a nice push up above 109.20, but now we're just rejecting that. So you can see on that volume by time profile, we never got that volume stepping in like we needed to in order for us to continue that move higher and higher. So now we're starting to break down. I wanted to take some off here at 119.20s because I seen that imbalance on those immediate asks, and then sure enough, it just chewed them up. And then you can see that we got that little bit of a pullback here on NVDA. So hopefully we can step in, but from a volume by time standpoint, Sharif, it's not looking good. We need those buyers to really step in and get aggressive and start lifting that ask in order for us to climb higher and break through some of these key resistance zones.
Sir. Yes, sir. So here we go. We're going to put a stop over here for IBIO. New position here on IBIO. It started breaking out crazy. So I'm like, all right, we'll give this one the old community college try, but it's having trouble with that $0.50. What I'm looking for is a higher low on the current 5-minute candle. The previous candle 5-minute low was $1.48. It's trying to hold that. I gave it a bit of room. I gave it to $1.45. So let's see if this ends up holding. Small position here because I'm punching in at highs on IBIO. Let's see what this one does. Keeping an eye out on that one. Did quite well here on RZLV with the beak here at 49s and took out some at 54s. Still, these 57 and 50 and 59 orders still going unfilled. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on that one. And then ABVE, since we spoke last, I haven't taken any prints. There's an obvious seller at 20 over here, but what I'm kept quite optimistic with, or why I'm kept quite optimistic, is the successive higher lows. We keep putting in higher lows, despite the fact that we're not getting that explosive breakout on ABVE. In fact, you can kind of feel that there's short selling in the high teens here, 18, 19, obviously 20, but for how long? Because the buyers are picking this up at higher and higher levels on every successive drop. At least that's how I see it. So keeping my packing my patience on that one. I'm not going to have a lot of patience with IBIO because I punched in at highs, so it's by definition a riskier trade. So anything below 45, we'll get at a dodge, and then if it sets up well again, then we'll take it. If it doesn't, well, we won't. Simple as that. So that's what I'm looking at right now. HSAI is just absolutely breaking out to the high side, guys. A more expensive of a small cap gapper here. I don't even know if it's actually a small cap gapper in the technical sense. What's the market cap? No, it's not. So it's a $2.3 billion stock with the latest pump up. Of course, look at this thing go. So it's only up 16.5% on the day, but it's knocking on the door of 18, Joseph. And every time I look at it, it's got another high. Look at HSAI, baby. Beautiful. Rounded bottom off the volume weighted average price, and then boom goes the freaking dynamite, almost up to 18 right now. Alas, I am not involved in it at all. So yeah, we can just watch as observers right now on HSAI. Keeping my eye though on IBIO, looking for a print at the first print, that is at 54s and then 58s. I'm really looking for it to hold up above that $1.45 area. Keeping my eye as well on ABVE, as this one continues to put in higher lows, but we're really not getting the breakout. So I'm going to pack my patience on this one. I've already set up my positions in the way that I like, and if they end up manifesting into winners, great. If not, then we'll have to look to do a little bit better. What are you guys looking at? Any other small cap gappers coming on your horizon that I haven't spoken about today? Let me know, because obviously it's hard to kind of keep my eye on the scanner on the top screen. Read the chat, execute, put stops. You guys get it. It's a chore. So any assistance I can get from you guys with respect to what's moving, I obviously very much appreciate that. I'd be forever in your debt, but like not really, you know.
Forever in your
like
debt.
not like kind of like what's it called? Those
like how Ozan wants to stay at your house.
Oof. Remember that? Totally forgot about that last week. He's like, I'm going to be in Toronto. Can I stay at your place? All right, we're doing it freaking live here on IBIO, Joseph. We just took a print here at $1.54. It's still not clearing the high of the day. The high of the day is $1.62. So our next beak wetter, because we don't have too many shares on this one, so I'm going to have to be quite sparing in how I take out the position. The next beak wetter is going to be $1.58. Shahram Hassas. I probably butchered your name. Shahram. WW, Weight Watchers. What's this one doing? What's WW doing on the day? Let's have a look, brother. See what this bad boy is up to. Are we allowed to call it Weight Watchers anymore? Is that politically correct, Joseph? I don't really care about being politically correct.
But that's what it's called.
WW International, Joseph.
Not.
Yeah, we're wrong.
You can't call it weight.
I'm gonna call it whatever I want. I'm trying to elicit a response from the chat because we don't know how they feel about that.
Wasn't DJ Khaled one of the faces of Weight Watchers?
Was he?
I think so.
I don't even know that.
Yeah.
Was he on TV?
No, I thought he was like a spokesperson or something.
Why would he be a spokesperson for WW, Joseph?
I have no idea, man. I'm just saying.
That's putting you in that corner.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I have no idea, man. NVDA is not looking too good right now, guys. You can see this engulfing candle. We just continuously got stuck at 109.20s, and now we're starting to break down. So maybe a little bit of a double top type price action. And the volume to the south side is really starting to pick up. So there you go.
Okay.
Not a good look for that breakup in the continuation. Again, I'll just talk about it. Like, look at the cues. This sucks, Sharif. If you ask me, this price action, for me, I'd have to think like it is. It's no good.
The Katina man has returned.
He returned. Day 2 of the flippers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you got that.
Yeah,
he's good, man. He's crushing the paddles, yeah.
Well, I'm figuring that's what they were for. Yeah, good look there, Katina, man.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. That's what I said to him. More resistance, but now you can technically go faster and farther.
Oh.
So we need, I know you're doing an average of 1, so you got to bump that up to 1.5 maybe. And we'll
Bro,
monitor.
I smashed the best morning workout.
I don't want to hear it, man.
Well, you're going to hear it, so might as well just listen up.
I don't want
Can I tell you, this was one of my best morning ones. Not like best workout ever, but my morning routine.
Yeah.
So listen to this. Wide grip pull-ups, 10 bangers. So not too many, but I went wide for the lats, right? Not in.
Yeah.
And then right into goblet squats, 50, light.
With your kettle?
No, with the weights, because I've got the weights on the stand now, right? With the,
all right.
The dumbbells. Goblet squats into push-ups. No rest. Right back into the pull-up bar. 7 sets. Yeah. 7 sets around 25 minutes. I'm done.
What?
That's not bad, huh?
Man.
That was my best one ever in the morning. I was quite proud of it.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. Now I gotta make sure I gotta run 15K today and 200 push-ups.
I'm telling you, you're gonna like the more push-ups. I would guarantee you.
Yeah.
If you start hitting what are you doing them in? Are you doing them in blocks, or are you just going to failure every time?
Yeah. 20. Well, I do 5 sets of 20, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So I'll go.
Pump it up 5 every time.
But I gotta pump it up 5 every time. I told you. So what I'll do is it's 5. It's 5 from 5 kilometers from my place to the outdoor workout gym at Jameson.
Calisthenics, beauty,
and then I'm in it right away. We start with the leg raises right off the jump.
Bang.
I gotta hop out of this. So 20 of those, and then we're 20 of we're 20 of those, and then 20 push-ups, and then 20 dips, just continuously.
Then
I'll throw in a rope climb once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
You throw in a rope climb?
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I still don't know how to do that well because I don't set my feet. You know how the CrossFitters set their feet?
I
don't know how to do that.
It's not long enough to do that.
Okay.
The rope that the ones at the old workout gym. It's not long enough to. And you can use your arm strength on it, even though I know you're supposed to use your legs and get that curl over.
Well, it depends what you want to do.
Yeah, it depends what you want to do. Yeah. So what you do is I'll sit down on the ground, grab it, and then pop to the top. Couple up there and then repeat the system. But yeah, we got stopped out break even here on NVDA. I'm glad that I took a little bit off right here, guys, to be honest with you, because just the multiple rejections, I had to get out in. When the market is telling you something, as much as you wanted to do something else, you have to listen to it, all right? So it sucks at times because you can see how aggressive we got on this trade, looking for that continuation into 110, but there's just too much supply on this underlying asset for us to continue to move in the northeast direction. But let's take a look at it from a daily standpoint. I do believe once we have the ability to sit on top of this range and the backside of this channel, then we can continue to slowly grind here. And if we can catch a tailwind on NVDA, we know that we got a lot of news going on with Huawei, the H20 chip, and now that they need a license to sell it to China. So if you get a couple positive tailwinds in this, I do believe we can sit in that realm of the backside of this channel and then continue to climb higher. But until then, we got to listen to what the market is telling us. And as frustrating as it may be, you'll thank yourself at the end of the day, because that's why we took some off right here. We weren't breaking through, talked about the hefty supply zones through those specific strike prices, and then sure enough, we get stopped out just before we hit that break even there, Sharif.
Hypercube, my lat's making it too hard to punch in trades on my keyboard. Can I get some tips on how to slim down? Well, I mean, Hims is selling a subscription for $600 a month. If you want to do that, if you want that Ozempic neck, go have at it, baby. I mean, I'm just kidding, of course, but yeah, you don't want to do that, man. Muscle is more important because it creates longevity. Guys, IBIO, I don't know about this trade. There we go. Just as I say that, I get stopped out, but it's at the 10 exponential. So I can get back in here. Let me have a look at what this one does. I don't mind jumping back into this one, but it does have that topping tail candle prior to it, and then 3 negative red candles in a row. All the while, that's the bad side of the equation. The good side is above VWAP, but above the 10 exponential. So if I had my stop placement wrong, fine. But I want to watch this for a little bit more because this is a good mover. It's shown its propensity to really explode when it does catch a bid. So I'm keeping my eye on this one. It's not a bad look at the moment, and it's kind of holding up at the 10 exponential. I think I'm going to get back in over here. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And we're going to put our stop below the volume weighted average price this time. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's exactly what we'll do there. We'll set up some beak wetters at key levels, and then we'll see what happens from there. Back to ABVE. Okay, so this is continuing to do the same thing, putting in those higher lows. Now it's taking out the seller that was there at 20 and at 21, because now we got 22s on the level, on the ask side of the level 2. I'm actually waiting at 122. So we'll see if we can get that, Phil, quick as you like, or what the situation is. This one's shown it has a kind of a tendency to explode through a level and then retrace back down. So what I'm trying to do is take advantage of that by throwing out my orders ahead of time so that I can, number one, be first in priority for having posted my order before everybody else. And number 2, if I'm not looking at it or if I'm not quick enough, I don't have to respond that quickly. The order's there and it will get filled quick as you like. So that's what we're going to keep an eye on right now. I'm still involved as I got back into IBIO, but anything below that $1.40, which is the volume weighted average price, I'm gone. Wow. We continue to hold here RZLV. It's holding the 10 exponential. So there's really no reason for me to get out here. It's holding that level. It's not giving up that level. So I'm going to pack my patience on this one and see what we get. Yeah, that's basically all I've got at the moment. I think somebody asked me to look at Weight Watchers. So let's go ahead and do that, because I think we kind of digressed a little bit from that and didn't look at it. So this is WW, not a bad look at all. A big move up. Now it's a sub $1 name, so I don't like trading these because, well, there's a whole bunch of reasons. But anyway, nice move up. It does lose VWAP over here at around 10 o'clock. And then it shows its tendency to respect VWAP a bit more. It bounces off it at around 10:40, does the same thing again at 11. Then you have a 2-candle holdup for 10 minutes at 11:40, 11:45. So it's shown its disrespect and also respect for VWAP. So, trade this one using VWAP with some caution, okay? Now, we still have that higher low, higher high situation in place. So if you're looking at this as an area high, we ended up taking it out over here with that 95 penny high day. And then if you're looking at this area here as an area low, well, this area is a little bit above it. So you've got the higher low, higher high situation. How you set up, though, and how you execute on it is going to be the determinative part here, because it's showing you both ways. It goes up and down. So keep an eye out on that. Nothing else for me to report on this one. Shanti Das. IBIO star stepping down, selling volume coming in, could break below VWAP. Yeah, so I've taken account for that. I've actually put my stop below VWAP on this one. So I'm out of the money right now on IBIO by about 5 pennies, but I don't mind holding this against me until the VWAP level is broken. We'll have to see which way the cookie crumbles on this one. Abhishek Desai. I beat up a kid in high school called Abhishek. His name, him's back to the highs.
All right.
I did. Oh, he got whooped too.
Thank you for that.
Poor guy. Poor soul.
Poor Abby, man.
Yeah, he got a new grill for that.
You got a new girl? Oh, he stole your girl, man?
Grill.
Oh, grill. Oh,
Adara, what do you got?
Oh,
What I've got here, Sharif, is a thank you to our friends at Trade the Pool. We all know the saying, big opportunity comes with big risk. But what if that wasn't true anymore? Trade the Pool is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life savings to prove yourself in the market. They give you access to company capital up to $200,000 to trade real stocks, no CFDs, and your downside is limited to just a single one-time fee that starts at just $47. That means no blowing up your personal account. You get to trade with serious buying power, all while knowing your losses are capped. Trade the Pool offers an unlimited time during the evaluation, so you now get the freedom to trade your way with no time pressure. Visit tradethepool.com and see how far your $47 can take you. Back to you.
Thanks for that, guys. I was just looking at IBIT. You can see that we had these multiple tests of the volume-weighted average price, and then we slowly started to curl over. See, the thing is, though, guys, you can see how aggressive I was. Entry, add. This ad I usually never do. I only add into winners, and then I get stopped out there, and then I enter again, add aggressively, and then we get stopped out. So again, just from collecting data and knowing my playbook, it's usually within the first couple of entries I'm correct. So the third one is just like, do I really want to take it, even though sometimes it's good to? So that's kind of where I'm sitting on the fence. You can see how strong it can be at times. I'm going to kind of condense this, filter out this tape a little bit more to see if we can get a better picture here, guys, of what imbalances we possibly have on the level 2. But I do like this, I like this price action printing here on the 5-minute time frame. You can see those consistent higher lows throughout this trading, and then we do have somewhat of a flat top. But if we're going to just go by this right here, you can see that we're holding that relatively well. But I don't want to chase it so far from VWAP. I need to wait for another additional pullback, and then maybe we can get that breakout. But it looks like that ship might have sailed already for us there, guys. Charlie Taff, 300, you're absolutely right. You know what I mean? When we look at those whole dollar kind of strike prices, that's where we're going to see the highest levels of open interest. And on the likes of Tesla, you nailed that one on the head. 34,000 currently open contracts on this week's expiration cycle. So we're having some trouble getting through those levels. But IBIT becoming an absolute monster and finding some order within this choppy mess of a session here, guys. So that's a positive sign. I really like IBIT, but it's unfortunate that I believe that this ship has sailed for that potential breakout here, Sharif.
Yes, sir. My man Abhishek in the chat. Obviously, guys, I'm just, we're chuckling around here. Obviously, I don't mean any ill will to my friend Abhishek Desai in the chat.
Oh, I thought you said your friend. I thought he was your friend after, but the one in the chat. In the chat.
So Abhishek was calling out HIMS over here, and it's a good look, good bottom there at $33, technically $32.95. Abhishek, what I'm seeing here, though, brother, is it's still lower high situation. So if we're looking at those pre-market highs at 8 a.m., double topping at around 42.50, 42.75. We have another lower high here at 39.50, where we also double topped initially there at 9 a.m. and then again at 9:20. That's all before the open, and then the open came, and then we haven't cleared the pre-market high. That's one of my prerequisites to trade these small cap gapper style. I'm not saying HIMS is a small cap gapper. Style stocks that are these gappers sort of that are moving on the day. We need that pre-market high taken. Also, I don't like the lower high situation. And we're only a couple of shekels above VWAP. And we're also below the high. Technically, Abhishek, the high is 37.94. That was the print that opened up at 9:30. And then we went down into the right since then. So HIMS, it's still on the side chart, brother, but it's not really a glowing endorsement for me to get long on it right now. I'm going to steer clear of that one. But OMH had a good move up, but now it's straddling VWAP from the downside. What I'm looking for here is something to take off. I'm going to take off CoreWeave. I'm unlikely to trade it given the price, and I'm going to put WW. The reason I want to put WW, even though I don't like these sub $1 stocks, is, well, it's close enough to that dollar with a 95 penny high that we could have a different trade north of $1. Also, I still perceive it as having some sort of respect for the volume weighted average price. I outlined this area over here where it breached it, but on the other occasions, it was using VWAP as a level of support. If that's going to be the case going into the afternoon, then I could possibly set up a trade on it. So keeping Weight Watchers here, removing CoreWeave, but this is the one that, you know, I mean, I can't believe I didn't execute on this. HSAI, beautiful look. I mean, it holds VWAP. It's explosive to the high side. It's respectful of the 10. I mean, like, what the hell else do I need to punch into something? It's not the biggest percentage mover on the day, but so what? It's printing. So keeping an eye on this one. I'm not really sure how I'm going to execute on it next. But right now, I'm executing on ABVE. We're taking out levels. I just wet the beak there at 26s, finally on ABVE. So we're nicely in the money on this one. Let's go ahead and throw out some more orders because we still got some more shareage on this one. We're going to wait at 28s now, and then we're going to wait at 32s. And that's going to be the situation. And the reason I'm taking it out at 32s, not a random area, is because 33s is the high of the day. So if we're going to encounter resistance at the high of the day, which we might, I'd like to wet the beak before that, right? So wet the beak, guys, in case you're newer. Me, take some profits, baby. All right, so we're doing it live there. What we're not doing live is this trade on IBIO. I'm 0 for 2 on this piece of crap. As it, you know, we tried to get it initially, got one beak wetter, stopped out, got in again, stopped out. So that's it. Later. We're 0 for 2 later, exactly. We're not going to trade that again.
We need a later animation.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Right, like you got to know when to draw the line. I don't have a read on this. IBIO, you've lost a spot on the coveted side chart. Let's see what Lucy's up to, because Adara was bringing us that Lucy headline earlier. Get it, Lucy. She says Lucy's below VWAP here, Adara. So we're gonna have to tell Lucy it's been real. But
the sky with diamonds.
Oh, I don't know where that's from.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Song, no?
Where's that from?
I don't know what song it is. I don't know.
You're asking the wrong guy, bro.
Yeah, I know what song it is. I know the boys.
You do, huh?
Well, I don't, but someone in the chat.
Well, the chat will fact check us immediately.
I think Neil and Katina Man might know that song as well, too.
They know that song.
Yeah.
So who is it?
Who's that?
Oh, but you know the song, yes.
You know the song.
The Beatles?
Is it the
Andre
Beatles?
is like
the... How did we not know that?
Because he's an OG, bro. Shout out to Andre.
Later with the rocket power graphic. Yeah,
I'm going to call Andre the silent assassin.
Yeah, he said the Beatles.
I like that. Because he doesn't talk that much, but he comes in with fire.
But when he says something, it's of importance. It's of importance.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Andre has been nicknamed the silent assassin.
The silent assassin. But here we go with Bitcoin, guys. We're getting that breakout here, and I like that Sharif pointed this out the other day as well, too. Its correlation with the NASDAQ and with gold. Right, so you can see it's more heavily correlated with gold than it is with the NASDAQ. And you can see us slowly start to climb here as the NAS is pulling back. You can see that we're starting to climb higher here in IBIT and approaching some of the day's highs. So let's see if we can crack through some of these key levels. I mentioned that this ship has sailed on this trade, and I don't want to trace it all the way up here. So we'll be a little bit more patient. And there it is. You can see the strength in the time of sales. And it's continuing to go, oh, that one, I need the emotional damage one. But we'll throw a siren up because we had that breakout. We just didn't want to chase it all the way up here. But it's looking like that one's really going to want to work out here today, Sharif. Up about just under a 0.5% on the day. And NVDA just continuing to move eastbound. And unfortunately, looking like it wants to move down on that one. So shout out Kenny Powers and company. But yeah, let's see if we can get that breakout here in NVDA and see if this is exactly
So
and
good.
see if this continuation there in IBIT happens. But you know what, Sharif, hold on, give me another moment here.
Okay, bro.
Because one thing that we are doing the Playmaker 1000% today. There is no doubt about that, guys. I know we skipped out on it a couple of days just because of what we had going on with the market. But yeah, we have to get back to being consistent on that front. But here we go. We're starting to compress here in the Qs. You can see we have this flat top, but we're forming these consistent higher lows, which is a positive sign. Which way are we going to break? We need to pay attention to this volume to see if we can break out and continue to the top side, or we just break down and head towards the low of the day on the overall market. But there goes IBIT. Let's go. I mean, it's good. It sucks that we missed that trade, but there you go. You can see that IBIT is really starting to get the ball rolling there, guys.
I like it.
That's a good look.
Where's
on
Bitcoin at, man?
Probably around
95 too. Okay.
95 too. Let's go.
You think we see 100 by next week?
Wow, that's a tough
Do we
question.
touch 100?
Yeah,
we don't have to. That's the bigger deal to me to close above.
Do we
100,
touch
you know what I mean?
100 by
We're at
next
95,
week?
3.
By what time next week?
I don't know. I'll just give you all of next week.
All until Sunday.
Friday.
Until
No.
Sunday.
Let's cut it off. Trading day. Trading day, bro.
Friday.
Like,
Okay, yeah, I'll take that bet. 100K by next week, Friday.
100K by next week, Friday?
Yeah, I'll take it.
It feels like it's accumulating into that, but I think we reject 100K.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in a technical sense, like, I mean, you wick above, whatever, you know what I mean? But the general level, I don't know if we.
So as long as we tap into 100K, then okay, yeah, I'll take that. To be honest with you, and one thing I will note though, Sharif, I think if we get to that 100K,
yes, sir,
then we're going on to that move for the ATH. Because of how long we've kind of been pulling back, et cetera, the length of certain consolidation phases.
Why though? You don't think
why?
we can range in that $10,000 area like we were doing? Remember we did the dance 90 to 100, 90 to 100, broke double top into 107, double top into 107.
This thing is absolutely roaring right now. Okay, let's pull up the chart. Yeah, let's pull up the
boy.
chart, and then we're gonna think out loud here, and I'm gonna just kind of tell you what my what happened?
He's like 125K by May 25th.
Yeah,
I'm trying to manifest it, baby.
Yeah, I'm manifesting that as well too. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think you mind either, dude, given what your exposure is.
So hear me out now, Sharif.
Go.
So this is what I'm thinking. So we're sitting on the backside of this trend, right?
It's a big break,
exactly. And now we're sitting on top of some key support. Well, that was support now acting as resistance.
Okay.
I started buying some more up in here. But I do believe that if we're going for that higher move, this is going to be it. Maybe it won't be straightforward, but you can see that we consolidated up here. We constructed a couple new highs, but then we put in that double top. But then we broke down, held our initial breakout levels really well. So I think that's enough accumulation possibly in order for us to distribute slightly higher. Maybe.
Look at that, dude. Look, can you keep it on his chart? Look at that double top.
Yep. DT.
Okay, so we all know about that double top.
Yep.
Look at that double bottom.
We're right here.
Yes. Look at that left wick, right wick.
Yeah.
Right back up we go into that key tech. It's like flipping.
Yeah.
From the double top into the double bottom, and now we're kind of at the midpoint.
So, and I mean, like we're only 5% away from 100K, right? So, I mean, by all means, I do believe that we can get into there. We're through some key resistance levels right now, and to be honest with you, it could get there if we break up and form this ABCD type pattern. So go A, B, C, and then D. We could definitely be north of 100K.
I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah. So.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how this all breaks.
But yeah, there it is, guys. Bitcoin broke out. I told you guys that it was looking, and Sharif pointed out why I was thinking a little bit more to the long side on this is because Sharif compared the correlation between the NASDAQ and gold, and you can see the strength in it right there. The NASDAQ not that strong, but BTC kind of just traveling on its own. Yeah, hoping for that big move. I'm just lamenting not having added into my IBIT position. That was a mistake. I think there's still room to add, dude. I think you got plenty of time to add here, especially if this is going to be a genuine breakout. Then that means if we're actually going to test these, chances are we're going to go into blue sky territory and look for a new all-time high here in Bitcoin. And I think that's the case. Even if you start to slowly grab right now, as long as we don't crack these lows, which is about 30% of where we're currently sitting, then I think we can continue to climb. You got a point, brother. All right, guys, Weight Watchers is starting to go, WW, whatever we're calling it these days. Here it is. Let's load it up. IBIO is on my crap list, so we're not trading that. And here we go. So 90 pennies, the current high, the actual high a day, 95 pennies. It's been very respectful of the volume weighted average price, save and accept for one small area. So I'm definitely interested to see what this one wants to do. I'd rather trade this above $1 so that we can, and for it to get
substantially far away from that dollar or off the volume weighted average price. I don't want to punch in no man's land over here. 90 pennies is a technical resistance level, even though 95 pennies is the high of the day. The closing prints are at 90 pennies. So we're at 89 essentially. So I don't really want to punching in at highs. I'm going to keep my eye on this one. I'm quite interested in trading it. It's got a great looking chart. My only annoyance, if I can call it that, is the fact that it's trading below $1. A lot of algos won't trade these south of $1. And there's also a more chop and churn, more thickly traded, more levels at which to post sell orders. So that makes it sometimes a bit of a harder trade. This is what I'm trying to say over here. So Weight Watchers in focus right now as it comes into that 90 penny area. Let's see how this cookie crumbles. We're at 90 pennies. There's all sorts of lottage right now at that 90 penny area. It looks like to be about 2,000 lots from what we can see. It's what we can't see usually that bamboozles us, the hidden orders, the iceberg orders, so to speak. So we're rejecting 90 for now, underline that for now, but for how long? We're putting in those higher lows, and if we break above 95, you bet your bottom dollar that's going to be a higher high, and we just took out 90 now. So what's the situation, Weight Watchers? You're gonna continue to move up, or what's the deal here? Now, if we were to punch in here, what's my move? Where do I get out? Where am I wrong? Well, I'm wrong at the area low. That area low, though, is like 15 pennies lower than where we're currently trading. So realistically, given how much I expect to make, I can't put my stop loss 15 pennies below. I don't expect to make 15 pennies on this as like for the entirety of my trade. So I don't think that that would be sound trade or risk management. So I need a better level off which to get in here on Weight Watchers. I'm just thinking out loud at the moment. So that's my thinking here with WW. I'm going to wait either for a break of $1 on a closing basis or a retracement into 80 pennies. The volume weighted average price on Weight Watchers or WW is 76.5. I don't mind front running that at 80. At all. It's shown its intentions on the day to respect VWAP, and if that's going to be the case, allow me to use it. I'm going to throw in that order now. So let's go ahead and sit with that order right now at 80. I'm going to go 81 pennies, okay? I'm going to front run it a little bit. We're going to go 81 penny dip trade, and that takes us above this area kind of consolidation over here. We'll see which way this cookie crumbles. If it ends up giving us an L, so be it. That's the nature of the beast. RZLV, we're continuing to put in those higher lows with that flat top now at 254. What's operative here, in my humble opinion, is that flat top and the higher lows. Again, I've talked a lot about this lately, this ascending wedge pattern. Let's see how this ends up doing. We already got a break of that level, and I had profit takers there to take advantage. The only mistake I've made on RZLV is not added when it came back into break even. So that's a look on RZLV. We'll see which way this does. HSAI is taking out levels over here. Okay, so I'm long 79. It just popped into high 80s. I'm waiting in the low 90s for a print here. Now, believe it or not, given the lack of volume, I expected the spread to be a bit wider on this. Alas, it's not. How many shares do I have? Allow me to look over here. I don't want to take anything out here. I'm going to pack my patience. Let's see if it can take out my level. 94s is the high day. We're at 88s. Here we go. 92s, rejecting 92. So that's where I was waiting. It moves up into 92, and then it's met with some selling. So we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait. That's the situation. Let's go to ULY. This one just pulled into the 10 exponential. So the 10 exponential is at 1088. I'm sorry, I'm flipping between all of them, but this is kind of the situation with these small cap gappers. There's so many, you have to keep an eye on them. So $11. My computer's crapping out, guys. It's telling me not enough memory. What's going on with this thing over here? All right, so back to ULY over here. Sorry, guys. I would have rather picked this up at 11. Let's see if we can get, it's a 15 penny spread here. No, it's actually more. It's a 20 penny spread here. 15s and then 35s on the ass. Okay, that's too much for me. That's too rich for my blood. I'm going to wait on this one for a little bit. Let's see what it does. But I am happy with that HSAI move up, but I'm looking for continuation now above 90s and then a move above 18. So we've got 3 positions on at the moment, all small cap gapper like stocks. We'll see if we can print to the high side here on HSAI. And that is the situation. Sorry, I'm just going back and forth here between the positions. Yeah, so this one is moving back up. How's that other one doing? Weight Watchers didn't fill. So this one moved back down into about 85s. I'm still waiting at 81, so I'm gonna have to pack my patience here for the fill. DEFCON 1, Sharif needs a Mac. Yeah, I just take what they give me at work, baby. I mean, that's just the way it is. But this computer's got 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, so I think it's something to do with the amount of programs I'm running here, Joseph.
Do you have a MacBook at home?
I do. Yeah, I've got the small one.
I have an Air too.
Yeah, same.
To be honest with you, I like my PC more, man. To be honest.
For real?
Yeah, and I was big Mac before. I personally like PC more.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just find it more compatible. Easier.
It is. Yeah, there's more software available.
Right? Exactly. So I mean, Apple's great, but certain things like I had to download Parallels.
Yeah, if you want that. But I got a desktop at home. That's
exactly same.
So that's the thing.
Yeah,
so if I want PC,
then you just hop over onto the desktop. Yeah, but I bought Parallels on my laptop, but I do have my desktop because I mean I like to just do my charting and stuff, and sometimes it's better when I
you trade on that laptop or
yeah,
you do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you want. I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
well, makes sense. There you go.
So there we go, guys. Yeah, here we go. Like Bitcoin really strong here, guys. I was a big Mac before.
Killing me, bro.
What, me? What?
Ozan, man.
What do you say?
Anytime, bro.
What do you say? He's signal?
Why I like him is because he's sarcastic like me.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Sharif.
He's rude and sarcastic.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
I happen to like that.
Yeah,
right?
Same.
Yeah. Shout out to Ozan.
I like a little sarcasm.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very, I like that dry humor type stuff.
There you go, baby.
So shout out to probably one of the funniest shows of all time.
What?
For those who haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's a show, I believe it's called People Do Nothing, Just Nothing or something like that. It's in English, and I think English humor is probably some of the best.
The best humor.
It's easily the best humor.
Shout out to my man
and
ADL.
watch the show People Do Just Nothing or whatever it was. I don't know if it's on Netflix or anything like that, but it's the absolute, is actually just me thinking about it makes me laugh. But yeah, it's one of the best, funniest shows ever. But here we go, Bitcoin now up about 0.75%, guys, on the day. So trading really well. I told you guys we wanted it all the way down there, and that's what we were looking for, was the continuation into those specific levels. And you can see the aggression within the trading, but it just gave us multiple fake outs, and then we weren't prepared to take that that one there. So yeah, it looks like Lewis Budd has seen that one. Yeah, it's honestly the funniest show ever. Brentford, there we go, Lewis Budd. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic show. But here we go, Bitcoin continuing to crack through some of these highs of days there, guys, and climbing in percentage-wise as well, too. So there we go. Let's see if we can continue this. But it looks like the big names are moving to the downside there, guys. So you can see NVDA looking like it wants to crack some of the lows here. Microsoft is heading towards some of the lows. I know someone in the chat was asking me, Joe, what do I think about Microsoft longs?
What do you
think? I'm going to be honestly, I don't like trading Microsoft from an intraday standpoint, Sharif.
Okay.
I don't think it's the best intraday trader.
I have to agree with that.
Nor do I see any setup that is saying, hey, I believe that we should be going long some of these tech names right now. We had that price compression breakout on NVDA earlier, and we were looking for the exact same thing in the TQs, but it doesn't seem like that's going to come into play just yet. We want to wait for that volume to step in, until otherwise we might be just heading eastward here, and that's what you can see. It's been the total narrative of today's session, Sharif.
Get it, Adara. Adara's like, Microsoft is a spready ticker. Good times.
Oh,
all right, Adara. Okay,
go.
we see you there. We see you.
There you go. We see you there.
All right. Shout out to my man Ali. I'll just say that. Anwar, I think, is his last name. What's the look here? Sharif, Joseph, SoFi bouncing again off the 200 SMA. Let's have a look at your friend SoFi, the 200 SMA. I guess you're looking at the 5, my man, because it's hanging on to that 200 SMA. The purple line, guys, is the SMA. The blue line is the EMA. And the reason I've thrown it on there is because I use this chart for both investing and for day trading. So the EMA, as I've mentioned, more day trading focused as it more heavily weights the recent price action. The SMA just gives each data point equal weight, right? So a nice gnarly double top here at 14.5 off SoFi, and then down we go below the volume weighted average price. We're barely barely break even, guys. And this was a good report for SoFi. 13 1/5 is the break-even point. We're at 13 1/3. We're literally at the low of day now. So this ain't for me. It's going to have to bounce back up for me to get involved on this one. But we're doing it freaking live here, Joseph, on ABVE. Finally, this one, you know, gives us that higher low, get it, higher low situation with that flat top. Have those resting orders there, guys, because had it not been for the resting order, I wouldn't have seen this trigger. I've got to manage these other trades. So keep your eye here on ABVE. It's up 40%. It's $1, so you can size in substantially into this one. You don't have to have a big account. And I'll submit to you that the real, the good way to trade these small cap gappers, very large size, very small price movements. That's the move here. You can't be in these for that long. They bamboozle the hell out of you. They're going one way 1 second, and they're going the other way the other. So, you know, just get in and get out quickly for for small profits and big size. That's the move with these small cap gappers, in my humble submission. Trade them as you like, though. Okay, so we just got the print there at 29s. Let's see exactly what we can get. I've now set up at 38s. This is obviously assuming we take out the high of the day, which is still $1.33. Keeping an eye there. HSAI is continuing to bull flag. It's obviously got sellers in the low 90s, high 80s. It's been trending there for a while. I've been holding 79s for a hot minute. Nothing has gone printed over here. So let's go ahead and get another beak wetter there if it does allow me. So that's the situation. Now RZLV, I may not be in this trade for much longer. Now we are 1 penny in the money on this. I don't want any part of this to go against me, RZLV. I've only got a couple of outs left on this one, so I won't feel too bad if I do get stopped out. Now, where's my stop at on RZLV? Allow me to look over here for a second. I have it here at 43s. Yeah, okay, I can leave it there. I can stomach that kind of drop. That's fine. RZLV, okay. Let's look at ULY. ULY just tanked, okay, from the high there. Now, I did cancel my order. Huge topping tail candle on ULY, and it ended up closing as a hammer candle at the low. I'm talking about ULY, guys, up 44%, breaks into 11.85. Now it's down to 10.81. It dropped $1 in like a hot second. That's really what I mean. They're around for a good time, not a long time. Don't hold the trade. Most of the time that it will be sound advice. Obviously, some other times they'll continue to run, and then you'll be like, oh, well, you made me leave money on the table. Well, how many times does that happen? What are the odds here, right? So keep that in mind. Now, do we get a defend of 11? Generally, we're in the 10 high 8s right now, but there was resistance initially at $11. Does it act as support right now on ULY? If we get a move above 11 and a closing for, wow, what a rocket up above 11 into 11 1/4. This is too spready for me, man. 11.25 on the ask, 10.96 on the bid. Yeah, I'm gonna have to steer clear of that one. It's just way too wide of a spread on a small cap gapper, despite the fact it's done about a 1.3 million. That's not that many shares. 1.3 million shares. Okay, I thought it did a bit more than that. All right, so that's the situation, guys. We didn't get the entry on WW, so the dip trade at 81 is not filling. That 81 dip trade was to front run the volume weighted average price. It's not giving me that trade right now. It's continuing to kind of defend that 10 generally. And if it looks like it's going to break above 90 again. I'm talking about Weight Watchers WW. It's up 111% on the day, but it is now sadly a sub $1 name. So we'll have to trade it a bit of a different way, Joseph. So that's what I'm looking at right now: HSAI, ABVE, and RZLV.
Yeah, so here you go, guys. We can see that the market really started to break down, and we're seeing that breakout volume that we wanted to, but unfortunately it isn't to the top side. You can see that on the 5-minute time by the 5-minute volume by time profile right here. You can see that the volume really kicked into the downside there, guys. So, and you can see it's just kind of engulfed this whole range right here. So you can see we open up right there. And then we just kind of engulf this whole range in a 5-minute span. So that's slightly a bearish signal right there. So we'll wait for the pullback and then the continuation of that trend here, guys. Let's take a look at the Qs. Same narrative roughly there. So you can see the volume really start to pick up, and then you can see this 5-minute engulfing candle just engulf that whole range in a span of a couple minutes. Could it be a fake out? Absolutely, especially with the way this market's moving. So if you guys have a solid green day, maybe just size down a little bit, or just maybe sit on the sidelines and enjoy it. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to look for those next opportunities. There's no questioning that, but we have to be patient, I believe, in this one, especially if you're looking for those breakouts. They may not necessarily come today. So what you want to do, from what we can see and what information we have displayed in front of us, is buying the lows and selling the highs has been working out relatively well today. Multiple touches right here at 475 here. You can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches right there, even a little bit more. Well, I guess no, it's only 5, sorry, total there. But then you can see multiple touches are just a little level below that. So yeah, be patient, guys. Don't get too frustrated, because when we have strong moves like we had on Friday, some sideways price action it doesn't surprise me or anything along those lines. You just want to find some names that are orderly and finding a specific trend. We know that SoFi was a good short this morning. We've seen a supply zone right at 114. And then you can take that move lower. And the same thing with the likes of NVDA. I mean, we got a high levels of open interest through that 110 to 114 strike price, and then you can see that there's not enough demand in order for us to continuously lift through those zones. So that's why we just rejected. So the path of least resistance is to the downside right now, guys, and you can visualize that by just pulling up your options chain and looking at this week's expiration cycles to see where the most open interest is, and I think that'll help you a lot. So you can base trades off of that there for sure, Sharif.
All right, guys. Stopped at I took myself out of this trade. RZLV broke down below the 20 exponential. Not that I really want to base my trade on that, but we end up breaking even on the remaining amount. Didn't have too much left, so got out of that profitable trade on this one. But it was just, I like the ascending, the higher low situation, but we did break that. So if you're looking at the 5-minute chart, that candle at 12 o'clock, that was the candle I was basing everything on. So the low of that candle was 247, and this candle that we're currently on broke it to 246. So yeah, it is just 1 penny, but the idea here was to put in higher lows, so that was no longer the case, so we get out of dodge. I'm continuing to watch WW here, man, because we continue to dance it around that 90 penny area, and that 90 penny area, as I've mentioned before, that's the area where I'm seeing a lot of resistance. Now, it's not strictly 90 pennies, maybe 91 or 92. Generally, that low 90s area is where we've met a lot of selling, and you've seen that initially at around 10 o'clock. You saw it again at 11:30, and here we go again. We're back now almost 5 to 1, and we're back at that 90 penny area. What do we do here, though? So this is a concern to me. I tried to get in at 81 pennies. It didn't have me. It didn't retrace far enough down. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. Now it remains the same trade for me, WW that is. It's either going to pull into VWAP, which is in between 80 and 75 pennies. Looks like it's around 77, give or take, or it's going to break above $1 and stay above $1. I'm not going to trade it if it doesn't set up in either of those instances. So let's go ahead and take the trade that we can control right now, which is that dip trade into the volume weighted average price. And I'm going to throw that order again I'm going to throw it back at 81. Okay, so we're going to throw that level at 81 there to see what the situation is on WW. Again, you're finding that red candle come in the low 90s, high 80s. Not surprised by that. So that's the situation with that one. We did weasel into ULY. We're basically break even on it now. This is going to have to hold up above 11. I should really be giving it to prior bar low, which is about 1078. But we'll see. We'll see what this one does. If it loses 11, we can get back in. If it does end up making yet another high. HSAI, it just won't shake 90 pennies. Still above the 10 exponential, mind you. HSAI up nicely on the day, but that 90 penny area has been a tough level to break. And we've been up there multiple times, but because of the spread, right now it's not bad. Right now it's a 1 penny spread, but I've seen it as wide as 15. We're unable to get those prints in the high 90s. So technically right now, we're about 2 pennies out of the money right now on HSAI. So we'll see what comes of this one. The other one we've got on ABVE. How many shares do I have left on this? I've got 1 BQuetter. That's why I've got my profit taker at the lofty level of $1.38, which is predicated upon us taking out the high of the day at $1.33. So that's the situation I find myself in now. Just looking at my my top scanner there to see if there's any new small cap gappers that are making their way onto the scene midday, and there's really not a whole lot. If you guys do see any small cap gappers though that are moving, please let me know, and we can cover those, or maybe we can even execute on them, because it's kind of hard to keep an eye out on all of them. So out of RZLV as it continues to put in lower highs and lower lows, I've set up the dip trade right now on WW. Excuse me, here it is. So if it does reject 90, come back in. I can try to pick up that higher low. ABVE we're still waiting for, and then HSAI. Now the question to me is, this is the first touch we got here on the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart on HSAI. So do I want to add here? I have a really small position on HSAI, and I made that clear in the beginning because I was punching in at highs. So I didn't want to take a large position at the high. It wasn't a technical retracement where we can say, you know, let me get it off 17, and if 17 is lost, then I can risk 10 pennies. No, this is not that type of situation. So we'll look to add into this one if it does break above 18. So I'm keeping my eye on this one. Let's see how this one ends up trading. Those are the trades I've got on at the moment. Let's see which way the cookie crumbles, Joseph.
Yes, sir. Let's see. I mean, right now, Sharif, it looks like it's crumbling to the downside. That momentum really picking up here, guys. IBIT giving back that whole move. So Sharif and I were getting a little giddy here. I'm like, yeah, we're at 100K, no problem. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case anyways relatively today, especially if the market wants to continue to move to the downside. I'm hearing Adara too. So we might have some news coming in here momentarily on why we might get some of this this move here, guys. So yeah, let's see what Adara's up to.
No news, just time to debut our special infographic here from TTV Research in honor of Trump's first 100 days of his second term. So we have this fun orange background. Here's President Trump, and here's the weekly performance of 5 major indices or things that we track here. So we've got the S&P 500, we have the NASDAQ, we have the Dow Jones, we have the IWM, and we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually needs some of the sharpest moves. And for some of these bigger weekly moves, I've actually also provided some context with some things that happened that week. So of course, mentioning Liberation Day, the Bitcoin strategic reserve talk that Trump dropped on Truth Social, which then, of course, actually pushed Bitcoin to the downside. And, of course, Bitcoin's all-time high. So check this out on X at TTV Research, our Trump 100th day infographic. And, of course, as it relates to the market. Back to you.
Yeah.
That's a quick hundo.
Yeah, it's a quick hundo. Was it? Yeah. I mean, quick. I don't know, man. It's felt like quite a bit of time with this.
There's a lot of events have happened, I'll give you that. But I mean, I just feel like the time's flown by.
Five. Yeah, I mean, time does absolutely fly. You're right about that, Sharif. But I mean, how many more days do we got left, right? So we can always say
4 years of this, Joseph.
4 years.
Get ready, buckle in, baby.
So buckle up, guys. Get prepared for some of this. I mean, I think at some point it will cool down, especially when the tariff talk starts to cool off. But I do believe we'll get a second spike of volatility just regarding the tariffs and everything along those lines. So yeah, buckle up, enjoy the ride, and hopefully you can grab some of these names at a discount here. But Bitcoin really weak here, Sharif. Not a good look on that front, but we'll be patient to see if we can somewhat recover and hold some of these lows in this name. But NVDA is starting to head towards some key support levels and looking like it might want to crack here, guys. Let me get rid of that dark pool wick here. You can see it a little bit better on this front, but you can see that we had those consistent higher lows, but now we're kind of breaking through the base of this level and looking like we might head towards the opening drive here. You can see that our 5-minute opening range from 107 all the way to about 108, excluding the wick. So we'll be patient to see what's going on. Hopefully we can hold the opening range, and I think that'll be somewhat of a symbol of strength. But one thing that I did want to point out is that I'm just preparing for this trade on Tesla. Let's take a look at it from a daily standpoint, guys. If this name does want to sit on top of this range, I will be looking for that long. So you can see we did open up, but I think there will be a point within this underlying that we just like break up, right? I mean, we were down a hefty amount in Tesla, and I told you that I'm completely out of this name, and I feel zero ways about it because I think I would rather be in the likes of Robinhood. Hopefully that works out really well for us tomorrow, or we might be eating our words, but we're still down roughly 42% off of those all-time highs here in Tesla, so I don't think you missed much of the move, and I think there's going to be another opportunity to get involved in this name there. But once we do sit on top of this this level here, I will be looking for that breakout. 58% voted long. Mike Simmons, BG futures have gapped up 91%. It may retest that level next. Yeah, for sure. Fill that gap. I see what you're saying there, Mike Simmons. But my guy Sharif just stepped away, so maybe we'll do the playmaker pool. We don't like doing it without him, but we want to document this one, especially because the past couple of days we have been slacking as a collective unit. Well, actually, collective, it's been me, myself, to be honest with you. Ramin has been informing me to do so, and I said, we're a little busy today, but we'll get right back into some of these things right now. Guys, let's type it in. What are we doing? Are we going long here? Or what, folks? Someone tell me in the chat. Yeah, maybe it's probably a little faster if I just pull it up and see what we got going on. Oh, Oh, we don't got that there. Maybe I could just look at the poll itself. Oh, that's a good idea, Joseph. What do you think? Okay, 58% to the long side. So we're going to type it in right now. For those who are not, and Bear Rose Bulls, you guys remind me, trust me, don't forget it. It's more or less been me, to be honest with you. But yeah, here we go. Better late than never, guys. Let's see what the SPY is up to. We are going long today, 58% to the long side. We are currently trading at 51.19, 551.19, 551. 19, we are looking for a profit target of 553.19, and then we are going to get stopped out at 550.19, taking Sharif's job. There we go. We're going long. What time is it? 1:03 to be exact. And what is the date today, guys? The 29th. April 29th. Anything of significance on today? I'm not too sure because you guys know I am not good with dates. So if there was, I had to be reminded what day my anniversary is. You obviously know how that conversation went. It didn't go over too well. For I wonder, hello, Joe, get your stuff together there. But now I remember, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, May the 4th be with you. Just give me something to go along with it, and then I'll remember it much better, all right? So here we go. That is documented. Here is our equity curve on that front as well, too, guys. So here you go, from 0 to over 100, not necessarily real quick, but we got there, and that's all that matters. Sharif, I don't know if you got that reference. There's definitely Adara did. Shout out Adara, who just bought the new 1900 Rugrat album, which I will be listening to at the gym. But I hear Adara coming up momentarily, so we'll wait for that call, and there we go. We're off to Adara, guys.
So here is American Battery. This might be a new small capper for you, Sharif. So this headline is not necessarily new. I think I saw it come out here around 11 or 12, but American Battery Technology really pushing higher to the upside right now. A couple hours after this catalyst was released, finding some resistance at $1.40. Basically, ABAT with an 81 million share float and a $100 million market cap, trading higher here after announcing it's received a letter of intent from Exim Bank for $900 million in financing. So again, that $900 million in financing is significant when you consider the $100 million market cap. They also have a 7% short float. So good look here for ABAT. Back to you.
Here we go. Show my screen, please. Boom! I was waiting for that. There we go. HS freaking AI. Okay, very happy with this trade. Very bull flag-esque. It gives you a cleaner bull flag this time around. Last time you had to deal with breaches through 17 and then retracements back into 16 and a third. This time, it was a bit of a tighter range. So we bull flagged up, much like we did into 17. We're bull flagging into 18, but the range was a little bit below 18. As you can see, 17, I want to say 60 at the lows, but mostly 70, and then basically 1790 to the high side. So I'm happy with this trade. We're done this trade. It's all over for this one. I want to tell you, when I show you my winners, I'm going to show you my losers as well. Okay. ULY didn't do well on this one. I could have taken some prints there into the 40s. I was long 25s. It wicked into the 40s multiple times. I didn't take any prints. I was looking for the bigger move into the high 11s, low 12s. I didn't get it. I got stopped out. I had a tighter stop below 11. Maybe not a good idea on this one because it's a bit spready, but I had to manage risk. So that's a look right now on ULY. We'll give back a little bit there. Smaller position, but I'm happy with this trade. I had a bigger position on this one because I added in twice. So this one ends up being a bit more of a winner than that one was a loser. Let's have a look right now on ABVE. Continuing to put in those higher lows. This is a beautiful chart. It's not a beautiful move if you're looking for those quick moves, wham, bam, you know, I'm in and I'm out and it's all over. This one, you're gonna have to pack your patience, really keep your eye on the higher lows. The only thing I can say I really did wrong with ABV here is because I'm not aggressive enough. I need to be adding on these dips. If I'm waxing poetic a zillion times about this trade having higher lows, why the hell am I not adding on the actual pullbacks? So that's my thinking here. I look to improve every day, and that's something I can certainly improve on. If the higher low situation is in, I should be adding on the retracements. Alas, I did not there, so we'll look to do a little bit better next time. But ABVE, good look, continuing to move up. It's got a $1.33 high. I'm waiting for that $1.33 to get taken out vis-a-vis my order there at a $1.38. So that's what I'm looking at right now. ABVE, I've only got one trade on at the moment, guys. So we'll keep an eye out there. Nothing really doing for me here. I know Adair brought us ABAT. It is at the day high right now, but it is a little light on volume. It's printed a little bit less than 4 million, 3.91 million shares, but it is $1.40. So that's not exactly a lot of shares, but it's a good look. It's a good steady state up. I don't think that's right. Stair-stepping up, that's what I meant, at that $1.40. I'm talking about ABAT, guys. But I want to mention here LFMD. I forget who was asking me in the chat, but I promised I'd look at this one. And it's not a bad-looking chart, man. This is the 5-minute here on LFMD. Let me throw in the ticker so we can all follow along. Has a nice bull flag there at 8 a.m. It looks like maybe that's when the news catalyst came in. Let me just check my blotter. Yes, it is. That's exactly when the news catalyst came in. It came in at 8:05 exactly. And LifeMD, LifeMD announces plans to expand affordable access to Wegovy for cash pay patients. I don't know what affordable means here, but HIMSS, the plans at HIMSS and HERS starts at $5.99 US. I don't know if that's affordable. I mean, how many people can say, let me pick up another $600 a month bill to lose some weight? To me, that's crazy. So this one looks like a little bit less, excuse me. This one starts at $4.99. I get these things are expensive. These GLP ones are super expensive. I get that. The R&D is prohibitive that these companies have to recoup for, and they obviously have patents that have a lifespan. They don't get patents for life on these. It depends on the jurisdiction. In Canada, it's 15 years. Then the generic companies can start selling your drug in a generic version. So $4.99 is, I don't know, man. That's just a lot of money here, bro.
That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money.
That's $499 a month. What is? Oh,
yeah,
Jesus!
Yeah, I know.
Right, 5 times 12. That's $6,000 a year.
Yeah. And how long do they take to work to start working? Do you?
I actually don't know.
You have no
I'm
idea,
pretty sure it's like immediate. Like you don't lose all the weight that quickly.
No.
And I don't want to disrespect these drugs, man. There's a lot more application to these that meets the eye. Alcoholism is a big problem in society. Apparently, this could be good for alcoholism.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cessation of smoking as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so there's a lot of it.
Eliminates the, I guess, the appetite or that little voice in the back.
Not the appetite per se, but like the desire for whatever the hell you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's interesting, though, because if it's dulling all these emotions, is it going to dull you at the end of the day?
It's the thing.
Right?
And so that's a very good question.
Right?
My observation from people who are my family that are on it, it really hasn't. Oh, okay. But like I'm not inside them, man. I don't know. I'm just telling you like what I see on the outside.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's a really good question. A lot of people ask that. And in any event, let's get back to the technicals here on LFMD. I kind of digressed there a little bit, sorry. We've got a double top here, both in the pre-market. I believe this one 8:05 and this candle here at 9:20, so both technically in the pre-market. It's an 8:30 high there. We got an 8:25 technical high a day. That's an after the bell high a day. So we are working our way up steadily here. It's been very respectful of the 10 exponential, so whichever individual in the chat was asking me about this is a good look. Pick it up off the 10. Try to put the odds on your side by getting the money fill. The money fill is at the 10 or sometimes a little bit below, like this candle over here at 1 o'clock. It dipped a little bit below the 10, but look how quickly it was able to retrace and close above its open. The open price of a green candle, we know, for looking at these Japanese candlesticks, the open is the bottom part of the box and the close is the top. So it was able to close above its open price there. So not a bad look there on LFMD, continuing to zig and zag to the high side. I'm going to throw this one on the side chart here. Lucy's absolute hard garbage. So throw LFMD on that side chart, and if it sets up in the right way, we'll take it. I'd like to see what it does at that 830 area high, because that's the area we rejected in the pre-market. So if we end up breaking that high, then I won't be breaking my rule about trading these ones south of the pre-market high. That is one of my rules. If it traded in the pre-market and has a discernible pre-market high, I'd like that level to get cleared before I get involved, so I'm not really dealing with any of the bag holders. That's what I'm thinking about there. Adair.
So here's Amazon, because we have once again another update on this tariff-related issue. In case you missed it, of course, Amazon was reportedly, as of this morning, considering adding some tariff charge labels to items on its website. This idea was panned by White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, at which point an Amazon spokesperson came out and said that they were only considering adding this to their Amazon Haul website, so their less expensive products, and nothing had happened yet. Then we had reports that Donald Trump had actually called Jeff Bezos, former CEO of Amazon, to complain or share his views there. Now we have comments coming out from White House Deputy Chief of Staff Miller saying that the White House can, quote, take heart in knowing Amazon rejected the idea to add these labels, and also basically saying that all they could do as of right now is take that statement at face value. So another update in this saga. Back to you.
Thank you, and there's another update.
Yeah, man, LFMD is going here. So it's taking out highs. Here it is, guys. So there's that 830 level. Again, sorry for forgetting your name. I really should be giving you credit for this, but I didn't save. I don't remember your name that you called it out. But this is a good look. LFMD, man, very respectful of the 10. It started off ziggy-zaggy, right? I mean, like, look at this kind of compression pattern that looked like a bull pennant to start here at 8 a.m. We pop up, we fail, we pop again, we fail even more, and then everything calms down. Everything becomes hunky-dory, whatever, at this $7 area. It found support, and then off we went, and now we're at $1.35 higher. So LFMD, good look there. I'm going to have to wait for a better setup. I'm not going to be punching in at highs. I could be persuaded, certainly, to get in off the 10 exponential. I just finished saying that. So maybe we'll set up a dip trade on the 10 exponential. But, guys, keep in mind that the 10 exponential, obviously, is a dynamic level. It's constantly changing as the price evolves. So if you're setting up an order at that level, it behooves you to make sure that it's in the right area. Because if the 10 exponential was at 81 pennies and you throw in your order at 81, well, then the price action develops and now 10 exponential is at 83, you're gonna have to move it up. So I wish there was a way we could do that. I personally don't know of a way to peg an order to a technical indicator. You guys know what I mean? Like if I want VWAP, if I want to put an order at VWAP for a retracement into VWAP, VWAP also a dynamic level. So be nice just to be able to peg that order to that technical indicator so that you're not constantly having to change it. That's kind of my thinking there. HSAI continues to go up. Good look there. Definitely got out near the highs. I don't feel too bad about this trade. But your friend, WW, getting a little deep over here. Now we're at the 20 exponential. So this one doesn't look like it wants to give me VWAP. And if it doesn't, that's fine. What I'm looking for here on your friend WW is the first green candle to make a new high on a closing basis. Currently, the previous 5-minute candle has a 95 high and an 80, let's say 84 low. This candle right now has got an 87 high, 88 high, and an 84 low. So what I'm looking for is the next candle coming in at 120. What does that candle do? Does it close above this current candle from 115 to 120? That's what I'm going to be looking for on WW. Either that or it triggers me for a VWAP retracement. Yeah. Currently, I'm hanging out at around 81 pennies. It's coming down into 85, so we're not that far away from that level. If I do get triggered here, I'm good with this. I will take this trade on WW. It's up a respectable, very respectable, Joseph, 105% on the day. So if it comes into the volume-weighted average price, you better bet I'm a buyer, baby.
Hey, man, VWAP, you know we're buying around.
Oh, show them the video, Joe.
Show them the video. We can't show them the video anymore, man. We gotta go check out the video. We showed you guys it. Maybe tomorrow we'll bring it up just in case you missed what we were talking about. Here we go on IBIT, though. We took that entry here again, Sharif. Looking for the continuation. Let's go. That volatility is really stepping in. One issue, guys, you know what I'm gonna say. Wow, and here we go. We need to put more size on. Okay, I wasn't expecting a move like that right off the jump here, guys, on IBIT, but holding up relatively strong. We like this name a whole lot here, guys, but we need that volume to really start to kick up here. We're still positive up a 0.5% on the day, but yeah, I literally need to go 10 times heavier than what I am right now. So maybe not 10, but 5 to 6 times. So we'll wait for that pullback and wait for the potential setup to come in on IBIT. And I also posted up on NVDA too, but it looks like we're slowly starting to climb higher. Just trying to catch the bottom of the range, right? Like I told you guys, seems like a range-bound day. If you have the ability to buy the lows and sell the tops, then just continue to do so because it's been working out like in full display here today. And I mean, the thing is though, for my style, I'm a breakout trader. So for me, yeah, that's my style, man. I'm a breakout trader in the opening drives. That's when you see me trading in the mornings and stuff like that. That's my best strength. But that's the name of the game. If you're playing breakouts, it might be a little bit of a struggle. But if you're just selling tops and buying bottoms, then you should be okay. But let's go off to Adara here, guys.
Here is BOX. Box, a little bit of a pop here, which it's given up some of this move already. BOX, $4.5 billion market cap, but pretty decent short float, about 10%. Partnering with IBM to bring new enterprise-level AI models to support content generation and productivity. So Box and IBM here with an AI-related headline. Those will always be on watch here. Also, about 40 minutes until Howard Lutnick, U.S. Commerce Secretary, is set to take the stage in a CNBC interview. We'll have to wait and find out what is said there, of course. But be aware, Lutnick speaking earlier today, he talked a lot about these U.S. auto tariff relief. Very all kind of confusing and convoluted. We'll have to wait on more from that. But maybe he'll talk more about that at 2 p.m. on CNBC. Back to you.
All right, so
shout out to the lunatic.
Shout out to Looney himself. Here we go. But let's see what we got going on. We added to this position, maybe slightly prematurely, but not too heavy. Not too heavy. What are you giggling at over there, man? I was looking to take some TSLA long. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. I just didn't get where I wanted, the price that I wanted. So now that's starting to move higher. Let's go IBIT as some of these big names are starting to climb. Users now heading back into the midst of that range, so that's a positive sign. NVDA continuing to climb as well. So you guys know that I'm long NVDA and IBIT in the swing. So any climb, we're positioned really well on IBIT. I love that one. Not so much on NVDA, but that's okay. We're gonna add some contracts when that trade plan that I've been telling you guys about comes into play. And you best believe I'm gonna be giving you a day-by-day update. It's either I'm in love with NVDA and I love Jensen, or I don't like Jensen.
Yeah, you're like my old man, bro. It depends on what day you catch him and what you did that day.
Yeah.
He'll flip on you in a second.
But then the next day, I love you.
Oh, exactly. Oh, man, you guys.
It's real, man.
Oh,
it's real.
It is. I know. I live it every day working with this guy.
Let's go, man.
Goodness.
Hey, but it's true, man. It's either I love you, it's like you're working out for me. We're both on the same, I own some of your company, you're giving me some capital appreciation, or I dislike you because you're off doing Elon things, working for Doge and destroying my long-term portfolio.
That animal.
I think that's a totally reasonable relationship.
It is. As a shareholder,
right.
Well, I don't know. As a shareholder, I respect your desire to want him to focus on the company. I have no qualms with that. None whatsoever.
But you don't like the fact that I get mad at him.
Yeah, you can still like him and disagree with what he does.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like just because I'm mad at you doesn't mean I don't like you. You know what I mean? Like Jensen, the same thing with Jensen. Like he obviously knows what's going on behind closed doors and everything. Like, so I mean, he probably doesn't. But again, like, if he's not performing the way that the stock is performing, I'm going to be mad at him. It doesn't mean I don't like him, right? I just don't like him for that time
I like it, Joe. I like it. Yeah, you're staying real, baby.
Yeah, I'm staying. Got to keep it real. All right, I'm ready, guys. So, but we've got to check this out here, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
So in sports playing, flexibility is absolutely everything. At Profit X, you see the order book just like the financial exchange. Pick your spot and customize the odds to fit your risk. Why settle for a single offered price when you can set your own? Plus, our mobile interface makes it easy to play on the go. ProfitX, where you call the shots anytime, anywhere. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back on up to $300. There you go.
I like it, man. I like it a lot.
Yeah, KK, that's the tough one. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. That is that's when you get the puppy eyes. What's Ozan saying?
He's like, Sharif is mad at me but loves me is a good example. Yes, Ozan,
exactly.
my
That's
man.
Exactly it. That's
well
exactly
said, my man, Ozan.
There we go.
Guys, let's have a look at HSAI because it's weaseling back into $18, and by extension of that, it is now touching. It's wicking, I shouldn't say, the 10 exponential moving average. Let me show you my black charts over here because I have a sneaking suspicion that the 10 has been it's been in play today, certainly, as a technical level of support. Once it bounced off VWAP, it didn't really look back, held up the 10 from 11:30 onwards, got a little obviously extended away from the 10, pulled back into the 10, and held up again. So do we get back in here? That's the question I've got to you guys. Do I punch back into HSAI? Is this a good entry level? What are your opinions on this? Let me know. Tag me. Let me know if this is a good entry or not. Or you're like, nah, Sharif, stay away. You already made the cash on HSAI. Let it do its thing, 25. You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think. Should I be punching back in here? There's a key technical resistance at 1790, and then there's also obviously that 18, which is a psychological level of resistance. We've cleared both of them, so both either should be acting as support or I don't know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I'm thinking here, man. HSAI, no go, says Marcos Morales. Okay, all right, so Marcos says no, no problem. Perception Engine, let's see if WW has a nice bounce off VWAP. We'll have to wait and look because I've got my order there, man. I mean, if VWAP wants to come in, oh, come on, are you kidding me? It comes into my level. Oh, that's tough. That's a tough one right there. It's okay. We won't get tilted on that. Adira, what's up?
What's
up here is marijuana, MSOS, cannabis making new high of day. And I really want to provide some careful context for this story. So the headline says, this is, of course, from Marijuana Moment, which, as I've mentioned before, Marijuana Moment is 90% of the time the source that leads these marijuana-related names to run. But basically, Marijuana Moment releasing this headline, which is circulated on X. White House drug czar could endorse marijuana legalization under new bill to repeal, quote, ludicrous restriction. So I read the article for more context, and this is not necessarily as it seems. Basically, what happened here were some Democratic members here of the Congressional Cannabis Caucus, the co-chairs, have talked about the group's legislative priorities for marijuana reform. Part of that is a new bill that's going to be on watch here, of course, looking to basically do some of this marijuana. They're calling it Evidence-Based Drug Policy Act. So that is basically going to be taking aim at a federal statute. Now, that federal statute apparently is part of why the White House drug czar has been unable to advocate for the legalization of marijuana or other Scheduled I drugs under the Controlled Substances Act. So the czar himself has said nothing about this. This is actually a bill proposed by Democrats that could sort of tangentially lead to potential marijuana rescheduling. I just really wanted to provide some context on that. There's no actual news here from the czar himself or herself, but there is a potential bill that could down the line lead to rescheduling. And one sentence here that I think is really key, if I can find it in this article, is basically that whether the Trump administration's recently appointed drug czar would exercise the authority to advocate for reform under the bill if it's enacted is uncertain. So this is not a clear path to legalization or rescheduling, but it offers, I guess, a gateway for that to happen potentially down the line. Back to you.
Hold on. Gateway.
Not intentionally,
marijuana?
But, I mean, I'm down for it.
Yeah, well, I think you're just you're too prone for these, Adara. Even when you don't mean them, you actually get them. So shout out to Adara.
I love that.
Get it, Adara.
In the old blood system there.
Well, there you go, Joseph. That's the way it works around here. What do you got, Bubba?
Come on, go, man. Let's go.
Get him.
Mate, you guys see that meme where Buddy's like, he's like trading at his desk and he's like blowing on the screen to get the stock to go up?
No, why would he do that?
Because he's trying to get the stock to go
Poor
up.
soul.
That's I feel like doing that right now too, if I could. So come on. Let's climb a little bit higher here. It's not looking too good, to be honest with you guys and Frank. I got to give it until the volume weighted average price, so we don't want to micromanage this position, but let's see if we can get the continuation here in the strength. I mean, we got a nice pop here in the overall market from the bottom of the zones, now trading back towards the top of it here. So let's see if we can go and test the high day here on IBIT. I believe this is going to be the move. If it's going to do so today, then it's going to be this move, I believe. So we added slightly aggressively to this position, and if we can get the continuation break through this key zone, I'll add a little bit more here too. Why not, right? Because we want to try to make these winning trades as big as possible, but also stay within our risk measures. I told you guys I'm red on the day just because of how heavy I was pushing on certain names. So we'll go over my trades actually here briefly before we send it back to Sharif. So we had did I have the long here on SoFi? Yeah, so we had the initial long here on SoFi. Really good stuff, right? Like this was a nice long, decent size. And then we were looking for the continuation. So I was actually significantly heavier right here, and then I got stopped out. And then we tried the shorts, what ended up working out for us on that front. But let's see what Adair's up to right now, guys.
Bloomberg reporting here that some CEOs are set to visit the White House today for President Trump's first 100 days of his second term. The goal, apparently, of this visit is to highlight U.S. investments that have been made by these companies. So these CEOs include NVDA, those from NVIDIA, of course, Jensen Huang, Eli Lilly CEO David Ricks, and the CEO of General Electric. There's, I think, some more CEOs visiting as well. Those are going to be three of the highest profile CEOs sent to visit the White House today to celebrate Trump's first 100 days and the investments they've made in the U.S. That's reported by Bloomberg. Back to you.
Thank you. The first 100 days.
Yeah,
It's an interesting one for sure. But then, okay, so then here we go with Bitcoin as well, guys. You can just see the aggression here on this trade, which is great. It's pretty interesting in my point. So I'll have to journal these here just to be like, what am I actually thinking? I mean, this isn't a horrible ad, but once we break down, no need for this ad right here because we're looking for the continuation of the trend. And then we just go really heavy right here as well, too. And then we eventually get stopped out. See, the thing is, 53.94, we could give that another 6 cents, right? And not take as hefty of a hit on that trade if we just get out at the crack of the volume weighted average price. But that's really tightening up our risk profile right there. And sometimes you need to give underlyings room to breathe there, Sharif.
All right, we got into CGC over here. Took one quick beak wetter. We're taking pennies here, guys. We're waiting next at 47, 8, 9. We're going to layer the orders over here. There's a seller at 7. We were at 7 before, rejected aggressively. So people lining up here at 7, but we're taking some of these orders off. Let's see if we're able to get the print at 7. And by extension of that, we're able to take out 48s as well. It's a hard trade right now. We're up almost 10%, 9.7%. Still not getting the fill despite it. Oh, there we go. Now we got the fill. Okay, so let's see if we can weasel up to 48s. Now we're at 48s, but it's going to have to cross to get that print. So as people jump into this trade, maybe we'll get some more volume to the upside. Boom!
Bang.
All right, so we've taken 3 beak wetters. Now we're waiting at 49. Can we get the 49 print? We're gonna have to wait. Down into 46 it goes. So it drops back down. Keeping an eye on my ULY trade as well. Waiting at 11s, 15s is showing me 14s. Okay, fine, no worries there. We'll pack our patience back to CGC, back up to 47s. But now we're waiting for a 49, clear and take. We're not getting that clear and take. So the sellers coming in aggressively at the $0.50 to be expected when you're this close in the 40s. We know what the psychological levels are, guys. They're the whole dollars and the $0.50. So here we are. Let's keep an eye out on this one. I'm not going to let this go against me. So I've already moved up my stop to 44. So if we get stopped out, it's going to be for a penny loss. Let's see what we can get here. We already de-risked a little bit there. So let's go back to ULY, see if we got the print. Bang! On ULY. Let's see if now we can move up a little bit more. I'm waiting at 35s and then mid 40s. So now we're showing 28s now on the level 2 ask side of the equation. I'm also keeping on my eye on ABVE because we're 2 pennies away from that high a day again. We've got a lot of trades on right now, guys. So it's going to be hard for me to keep an eye on the chat, and I do apologize for that. Got to manage these bad boys, Adara.
Keep an eye on Meta, META. Of course, they have their LlamaCon event right now happening just one day before their Q1 2025 earnings report. Meta basically, they're reporting tomorrow. Meta basically saying here, their chief product officer saying that Llama, their LLM thing here, has 1.2 billion downloads, up from 1 billion 10 weeks ago. So CPO of Meta highlighting their quick adoption of Llama. Back to you.
Good look.
Yeah, good look there. I got a fill here, guys. I'm going to probably have to hop out of this trade immediately. I added there, and we got that fill. And you can see that we kind of just forming this cliff, and now we're coming back in towards the volume-weighted average price. So that's it. This is going to be it for me. I mean, we got a half hour left in the show. Unless something A++ sets up, then that's it. I'll sit on my hands. You guys can see what I got displayed here. No need to just dig yourself a deeper hole. Sometimes when the market doesn't want to move in the direction, just accept the fact that that's what's happening, and that's the reality of trading.
That's a professional trader right there, bro. That's a professional trader right there.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. So you guys can see once I get stopped out of this position, that's it, guns. You know, done for the day there on that one.
All right, man. I don't mean to celebrate when that, but we did good on this trade over here.
Great. Celebrate all you want, just because I'm like.
Yeah, but you know, I don't live in a vacuum, dog. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. No. So here we go, guys. ULY, we're doing it freaking live. Where do we have here? We got 97s. Now we're showing 51s. Next level, I'm waiting. You know where I'm waiting if we're in the 60s, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else. Now we're in the 60s, waiting for that 69 print on ULY. I did add into this one. So the initial entry, guys, was at that $0.25. It did come in to that 20 exponential, and I did add there not double the position, the same position that I got into initially. I'm talking about ULY. It's up 52%. We've taken out the majority of the position so far to the top side. Let's see if we can get 69s, and then by extension of that, we're going to look for 88s, which necessitates a high of day break, because the high day right now is 85. But so what? I'm going to continue to pack my patience. Look at ABVE. So I'm waiting at 38s. It just got into 37s. I'm waiting for a print on this one. Let's see if we can weasel up. This one is also up 50%. You got 50% on ULY. You got 50% on ABVE. It's not the biggest we've ever seen, man. We haven't even had a triple-digit winner, I don't think, in the last week or so. I don't remember there being too many triple-digit winners last week. But I'm keeping my eye on these ones. I'm happy with this trade. I had good shares here on ULY, larger than I typically take, and I don't take big shares. Full disclosure, not going to pretend like I'm something I'm not. So we're going to see exactly whether or not we can get that 69 print, and then by extension of that, we'll get 88. So that's my look right now on ABVE and ULY, excuse me. Let's go back over here to my friend Weight Watchers. WW, I did add into this one. We're absolutely break even right now on WW, having not gotten that 81 dip that I was waiting for. So let's see if we hold up. We have higher lows on the 5-minute chart right now. I'm talking about WW right now. So the previous candle, or the 120 candle, excuse me, had a low there of, what was the low there? It was 81.30. And then this current candle has a low of 82.50. So you get it. We got higher lows over here. We're waiting for a print initially at 87s, and I'm layering every couple of shekels there. So that's my move right now on WW, looking for that spike up. And this one's shown you its intention to have those price spikes up, but does the same thing down as well. So what goes up must come down. This one, no different. We'll keep an eye on it, see if we can continue to extract profits. Back to ABVE, waiting for that high day break, thinking maybe I should flatten out here. Just take it and run so it doesn't turn against me, which has happened before, let me tell you. So that's what I'm doing right now. We're doing it live on all these. I forgot about CGC, dude. Holy cow. This one's going against me, Joseph. I got too excited. I only have one out left, though.
That's all right, though.
Yeah. So I only one out left, so we'll flatten out.
What's the ACB up to? We have like question. 1,100 yet, or?
ACB, let's... Doc, you're killing me. It's doing the same thing CGC's doing.
Not quite.
Popped up, back down.
Not quite at 1,100.
Not quite, brother. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. Those Bitcoin buys will make up plenty for that. So we'll keep an eye out on that, Joseph. Guys, back to WW. What the hell, bro? How come you're going to spike up there and not print me? This thing spiked up to 90. Did you guys get that on your chart? Because I'm seeing a spike up there into 90, but I didn't get any of the prints on that one. So I'm feeling like this might be just a false wick there. Didn't actually happen in real life. Go ahead, Joseph.
Trader Joe. All right, new traders, listen up. First month free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything infinite. data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights. Listen up, Ozan. Game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description there. There we go. NVDA breaking out? Yeah, there we go, Los Boys. I'm glad that you're still in that trade there, my friend Jameson. Okay, so Jameson, you're gonna buy the 45s. Listen, I don't want to tell you how to trade your style, but what I was looking at is slightly out the monies, because if you truly think that you're going to gain intrinsic value on those contracts, you may as well go slightly out the money. So I'm looking at the 56s, 57s. I don't really care about the in the monies, because you're already at a 1-to-1 delta. I want to gain time value, and then I want that gamma kind of exposure as well too, as it gets to its greatest. And then eventually, when those contracts are in the money, you've gained time value along those with the out the monies. That's just a thought, right? Too, if you're looking to do that. I personally don't like buying two in the monies. I like buying at the money and out the money, and that's my personal preference. It sounds like you know what you're doing. So again, I'm just telling you my game plan as I relate to you guys all the time. Yeah, sweeping L and H. There we go. Bitcoin above 95,000. We're still sitting in this position. There we go. What a big pop. Oh, wow. What big pop up there. But yeah, we're still sitting in this, guys. I told you I'm out at the volume weighted average price. On the blockchain says, yeah, Joe, I like the way that you show no emotions. No, I feel the emotions, right? But what I like to think about it as, and trust me, there's days where you've seen me frustrated, but from a day-to-day basis, the stock market doesn't care about me, so why am I going to care about it too much? Exactly. Obviously, it's frustrating, but unfortunately, it's the reality of the game, right? And the quicker that you realize that what these charts are displaying you and what's on the other side of it actually could have no idea of whether you go broke or you become rich, to be honest with you. So they don't really care. They do not care about you whatsoever. No.
In fact, they're probably looking at taking your money.
Well, that's what they want, right? Exactly. They want to take your money. So matter of fact, it's negative care about you. They care less about it. They just want your money.
Straight up.
There you go, a negative. Back down that one.
Is Joe related to Blake Griffin? I'm sure you've gotten that plenty of
times. Yeah, remember when they used to do the thing there on Blake Griffin?
Trader Joe Live. Great question, to New York Cents. I want to read this question out because it's a great question. Sharif, I have a question. I hear you mention VWAP a lot. And I know you don't like to trade stocks that are under, but being up and then goes under, is it a bad sign in your eyes? Well, it depends really what we're talking about up and under. I mean, is it just wicking quickly below with the closing prints, or generally it above the volume weighted average price? Or are we just down and staying down? That's really what it's going to come down to. If you're talking about it just a quick wick below the level, that's normal, especially on a volatile name, and especially if it's done it before. Excuse me. So if you have a look at the chart and it's wicked below VWAP before, but always seems to defend the level by closing above it, well, then you kind of know what to expect, right? And then you're not really as worried. I'm not saying you shouldn't be ready to execute on the trade, but you're not really as worried because you've seen this and it's part of its DNA, right? So that's kind of what I mean there. Generally, what you want to see is respect for the level. Not all respect is going to look alike, right? It's not always going to be a strict hold of the level. You're gonna get zig and zag, right? I mean, there's millions of shares trading here, and so there's going to be breaches of key levels. I hope that helps, brother. But generally, what I mean by that rule about VWAP, it's only related to my small cap trading. I don't actually do that for large caps. I haven't traded large caps in a long time, but I don't have that rule for large caps. And there's a reason for that. That 200 level on Apple, I'm just giving you any random example, okay? That 200 level on Apple as a support level means very little to me whether it's above or below VWAP. I know that there's probably a zillion buy orders, resting orders from retail, from hedge funds, whoever, waiting at that 200. It's a nice retracement, and a lot of people are going to want to buy there, right? So it matters a lot less who's in control at the moment, because that's such a big company, and I know it's widely traded, widely owned, so that doesn't mean as much to me that it's below VWAP. These small cap gappers, they're all about momentum. They're all about that intraday trade. So I want to know who's in control of the price action. Is it the buyers or the sellers? One way to gauge that is to see whether it's above VWAP or below VWAP. That's why I have that rule. It's not out of thin air, and that my pre-market rule really is about bag holders. Right? It's not really about who's in control, because we could be above VWAP but below the pre-market high and still being kept down by those people or whoever the algos that were trading this in the pre-market at high levels, I want to get the hell out of there. So they're not the same thing, okay? That's why I want to make that point. I hope I didn't butcher that explanation. If I did, I do apologize, but I hope you understood what I had to say by that. Guys, ABVE is continuing to work up here into that $1.36. I'm going to maintain that insistence that it come into $1.38. We're close to taking out the sellers. It feels like, I don't know, I don't want to jinx it, at 37s. If we do, fantastic. If we don't, well, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Let's have a look back at WW. Okay, so we did get a print there at 88s, and now I'm waiting at 89s. So we'll see with this one if it wants to catch another move back up. It's been quite respectful of the higher low situation. It doesn't have to stay forever and ever more, right? I mean, it can absolutely turn on a dime. We know how these ones work. 2 New York cents, thank you. You always help me out. Looking for support is key, and avoid the falling knife helps a lot. Absolutely agree with you, Jay. 2 New York cents, and I do appreciate the comment there. My man, Jay Lee. Sharif, CFO Chris Lapointe stated revenue grew 33% year over year to a record $771 million and emphasized the $210 million in adjusted EBITDA, marking a 40% increase from the prior year. I'm assuming that you tagged me before, Jay, because I don't know which name you're talking about, Jay. We'll find out who this CFO guy is by just searching Chris Lapointe, and then I'll know exactly who you're talking about there. So allow me a second. Who is this guy? Let's find out. Oh, this is this individual over here. Hello. Who are you, though, Mr. Person? Reload. There. Why is this showing me images? All? Oh, that's why. SoFi, I got you. I'm sorry about that. Let's have a look at SoFi. Sorry, Jay. Didn't know who you're talking about there. Let's pull up SOFI. Good look. We didn't do the news today, Joseph, but that's okay. We had a bunch of trades on, so it's kind of tough to do. SOFI, yeah.
Oh, bang.
What's up?
We hit the 2-to-1 in the playmaker. We did it while you went to the washroom. Boom. If we're hitting any 2-to-1s today, guys, it's on the playmaker. Let's pull it up here.
Are we still in the money?
Yeah, oh yeah, large.
We were in a bit of a downtrend.
Yeah, we were in a big time downtrend here.
I see higher lows,
and we took a couple more losses right here. One win though, but here let's document that with 53.19. We are now trading at 553.89. Let's go 553.19. We'll document that one here, but we got missing one data point there. That's nothing crazy. We can figure that one out there. Oh, Sharif,
sir.
Bang. Oh no! That's a 200 spot right there, guys. So we're gonna wait a little bit. We got to fill this one in here. But there we go, bang! With that 2-to-1 on the playmaker, and let's go Bitcoin.
Our friend Lutnick is live. Says Dinkelberg. Okay, we'll definitely keep an eye out on that. Adair's at the big desk. She'll be able to keep an eye out on that. Thank you, Dinkelberg, for letting us know. Despite the fact that I think you took some liberties with the spelling there, but I happen to like it, my man. Shout out to my man Jay Lee, confirming that he was talking about SoFi, and in his humble opinion, and he's quite humble. Shout out to the OG Jay Lee. It's going to be $15 soon. Jay, I don't disagree with you. I think these DeFis, these decentralized finance, whether or not it's Robinhood, SoFi, maybe some others, they've got a good tailwind behind them. They're looking at deregulation. Your friend Bessent today was saying in the White House that Q3 and Q4 of this year is when we should expect wide-scale deregulation. I'm assuming that has to do with finance and banks as well. That's why the banks were running at the end of last year, widely anticipated that Trump would have a deregulatory tailwind behind him. So I think that this is a good look. Now, let's see if the technicals agree. So we definitely had a downtrend there, Joseph, and it was a lower high with that lower lows, almost a downward channel. Kind of looks like an Elliott wave correction, and then boom, we take out the channel. In addition to that, we take out the previous area high on a wick basis, not a closing basis. Look at this candle here on SoFi. It's a candle of indecision with huge upper and lower wicks and a very small body. This thing needs to work out a little bit more, Joseph. It looks like some of the dudes at the gym's legs. So we'll keep an eye. He came with the fire. Came with the fire. I didn't drop any names. I just said the dudes at the gym.
So make sure, hey, you don't know if it's you, so make sure you're hitting legs.
I don't even know if anybody in the chat's from the gym, but I hope not.
Hey, some guy in the chat, his name is Simon. I don't know if he was messing with me, but like 10 minutes ago, he's like, oh, my buddy played hockey against you, and then I didn't hear anything else from Simon, so.
Come on, Simon.
Yeah, Simon, thanks for that follow-up there, buddy.
Yeah, bro. Seriously though, so we did create a new high today. That's a fact. It was on a wick basis, 1451. So Jay, I agree with you. I like SoFi. I like Robinhood. They have to be at the right price though, obviously, but I like their tailwind, man. Decentralized finance. We know what SoFi is doing. They're stealing customers away from traditional banking. They're letting you consolidate student loans at lower rates. They're letting you consolidate credit card debt from 20 some odd percent into, high single digits, so to speak. I believe in certain cases if your credit is right. So they're doing the right thing, and now they're bringing back crypto trading. In addition to that, they're going to allow you to leverage your crypto trading to take out loans, to do other things. So I do like that. Now, full disclosure, I got nothing in SoFi, and I've never had anything in SoFi. So what I'm telling you is just my honest opinion. Whether I'm right or wrong, that's a different story. But I like the tailwind right now in decentralized finance. We'll have to see which way this ends up here, Joseph. But not a bad look today for SoFi.
Yeah. We just got a massive volume spike here in the market. Perfect timing there, Sharif. There goes NVDA. Blasting through some key resistance zones, and I'm in the only underline that isn't ripping to the top side. But you can see it, Google breaking through, man. Nice spike there, boom, wow. Sorry, I don't boom. Sorry, guys. There, bang goes the dynamite. I don't boom. I told you guys the story of why we don't boom around here, but I know my guy Sharif likes to boom. But that's okay. But here we go on NVDA. Nice breakout. I wish I took that. I had posted up right here, guys. I posted up right here, and then sure enough, we got that move finally there. Let's go. We're flying to the top side. We're liking this. The swing account's liking this. Hold 110 NVDA, and we're getting right back into this. We're going to buy some contracts. I have shares right now, but there goes the Qs. There goes the SPY. A whole day of consolidation. We break out. Let's see if we can continue this move. Go, IBIT, go. Big Tammy from Bama. Come on. We don't need that stuff in here. There we go. We're going off to Adara.
Keep an eye on TSM. This is Taiwan Semiconductor trying to make new day's highs. It looks like a headline on this name is what's bringing this market to the upside. Howard Lutnick currently talking on CNBC about 15 minutes earlier than he was supposed to start. Not a stream that I'm able to find online, but I'm looking here at comments on X, and apparently U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is praising TSM, which of course invested pretty heftily in the U.S. during his interview. So again, TSM or TSMC, Taiwan Semi, getting praised here by Howard Lutnick, U.S. Commerce Secretary, during his interview with CNBC. Back to you.
Yeah, let's go. I like Hood here. Jameson, I like how you pointed this out, especially this compression pattern right now. And then as you can see, we're kind of heading towards the volume-weighted average price. But one thing is we need that volume to kick in to confirm this breakout. But what a move in the market. Let's go NVDA. Let's get the ball rolling here, IBIT. I'm going to add a little bit here, guys, just because if this is a genuine breakout, then this move is going to be sustained. So there you go. We add for the third time into this position to go and test that high day. We're going to aim for this pivot. If it breaks down, then my risk is definitely more defined now. So you can see I just added right here. We're going to go up here for 54.32. So let's see if we can get that rolling. It may not be the best trade considering what we've just seen in some of these other names. So I'll be patient. Multiple adds into the strength here. Once the trade is just working out, this took me years and years to kind of establish this kind of trading. And sometimes I don't even do it at the right time. But there we go. Nice move here in IBIT, Sharif. Look at this. Nice. One ad, two ad, third ad right there off of that initial position. So climbing nicely to the top side is IBIT and a lot of these big names. Let's go NVDA. We want you to continue to move. Google's breaking out too, so there you go. Those are my big names. You know that we got NVDA on a swing. That volume, that breakout volume that we were waiting for all day is there. Now we're getting the move here in IBIT. Okay. The Q's breakout volume is there. The SPY breakout volume is there, and Google's breakout volume is there. This is what we wait for. This is what one of the biggest skills in trading is patience. Patience and patience. Wait for those setups to come to you, and then hopefully you guys have the ability to take advantage of that breakout volume. We're doing it live. So what's Adara up to?
We just got a topping tail candle in Tesla here in the 3-minute chart, and we get some comments here. Pretty interesting comments coming from U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. during his CNBC interview, which again started about 15 minutes earlier than it was supposed to. We heard a lot of talk from Lutnick earlier today about how they're going to be basically relieving these U.S. automakers from some tariffs. Now he's talking here about how he and the administration view the future of U.S. autos, and it's pretty interesting. He said here, quote, highly automated auto plants are the future of U.S. labor. Now, this is interesting because we know they really wanted to bring labor and jobs to the U.S. So pretty interesting. Now they're actually saying that the future is going to be in a situation where things are highly automated. Take those comments how you will, but either way, TSLA, bit of a topping tail candle coming through on the 3-minute chart as we have U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick talking here about a highly automated auto plant future. Also, separately, he just said that a, quote, 10% tariff is virtually not going to change prices. So Howard Lutnick downplaying the role of tariffs. Now they might impact prices here. Back to you.
Shout out to Howard Looney Tunes, baby.
Looney Tunes.
He's always moving these markets, baby. Guys, keep it clean in the chat. We can give him nicknames, but you can't piss off Streamlabs or Bears versus Bulls. It's not a good look. We want you around to participate, to vote, you know, to engage with us. And, you know, you might get banned there if you start saying some of the nicknames you guys have been calling them. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Keep it funny, but keep it clean, baby. All right, Joseph, we're doing it live again here on Weight Watchers. We're taking pennies here. I mean, it's an 80 penny stock. Look, what can we do? But that's a look. It's continuing to put in higher lows. It's still having trouble clearing 90, despite the fact that it's basically a 98 penny high a day. Let's see what happens over here. We're still holding a piece. ABVE as well. We're still holding the piece of this bad boy as well. This did wake up to 38. Get it, Joe.
Okay, hold on. Can I cover this here? Yeah, baby. What a major dump right there, guys. I posted up right here. You've seen that I took some off, and then we just gap right down there. Wow, that was a tough move there in IBIT. Shout out Pool Shark. Thank you for the $2 super chat. But I'm going to have to hop out of this trade immediately there, guys, because I told you risk profile, and we took some off there. But what a nice breakout there on NVDA and the overall market. That volume was there. I'm in the only underlying that isn't moving to the top side. Shout out Pool Shark one more time for that $2 super chat. I'm going to have to hop out of this trade there. Sorry for interrupting.
No worries, bro. Certainly.
Oh, we got another super chat there.
Okay.
Pool Shark, another $5 Pool Shark.
Bear money.
Traps at 54.16. Pick up liquidity at 54.26 for a nice pump. Yeah, there we go. Good call out on that one. I talked about those high levels of open interest, and they're most definitely coming into play. So unless we continue to move to the top side, I'm going to have to get out of this trade, Tree.
All right. Okay, we're going to Dara. There is more news. Looney Tunes is on. I'm sure she has more information.
Another pretty vague comment coming here from U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick about trade deals. Now, with which country or when it will come, we have no information, but I'll just read you the quote. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick saying in the CNBC interview, quote, I have a trade deal pending approval. One trade deal is reached with a country I will not name. I am waiting approval from the other country before announcing. So Howard Lutnick being a little sketchy here as to any details, but seems like, according to him, there is some kind of trade deal that will hopefully be announced soon. Again, this is in his CNBC interview. Back to you.
The Katina man ain't buying any of this. He's not buying any of this. He's like, look, I'll believe it when I see it, baby. And I don't blame him because we've been told a lot. Look, I want the deals to get done. Who the hell doesn't want the deals to get done? I want to put this page behind us. I asked you guys a question last week. I think it might have been the week before, not sure. I said, do you think this pullback in Neil hadn't even finished the question yet, brother. He just said no, flat out. I hadn't even finished the question. I said, do you guys think that this pullback that we've obviously had off highs is just a blip in a larger uptrend, or is this more serious? And it was kind of mixed. Some of you guys said it was a blip. Some of you guys, no, these tariffs are fundamentally going to change the way that, balance sheets look, how countries interact with one another. I think everybody had a fantastic point. I happen to fall into the camp, just personally, that this will be a blip, much like COVID. When you look at March 2020 pullbacks, when the market was halting to the downside, looks like just a blip. Let's put where the hell is the composite? Let's bring in the NQ, Joseph. We're going to show the composite, not the actual NASDAQ 100. Where is the composite at? Show yourself. There it is. Let's go to the weekly. Let's zoom out. So this right here, ladies and gents, this is COVID, okay? That is February 18th. This is the weekly chart, by the way, okay? And that is the bottom that we put in the week of March 23rd. And then all hell broke loose to the high side. This was 2022. We know what 2022 was like. We're under no illusions, okay? Generally, it holds, though, the 200 moving average. It does breach it, but generally in and around there. So here we are. This is the current pullback off 20,000 on the composite, guys. The composite, not the NDX or the NQ. And we come back down to 15. We hold the 200 like a dang glove on the weekly. Better than the way we held it in 2022. So again, I mean, I just show you this chart and I ask you the question, is this just a pullback in an overall larger trend? I happen to feel it is. Whether or not we zoom in to new highs in the same way that we did after COVID, that's a different story, but I definitely think we make newer highs sooner rather than later. That's just my opinion, Joseph, and I'm sticking to it. What do you got, my man?
We're going to Adara.
Oh, my bad, I didn't hear that.
Secretary Howard Lutnick and his comments continue to take an odd automation-themed bend. Keep an eye on AAPL. Howard Lutnick boldly claiming that Tim Cook says he wants to build iPhones in the U.S., but he needs robots to do so. So we know that Apple's actually been trying to switch their production to India. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick saying, no, Tim Cook wants to build the iPhone in the U.S., and they just need robots in order to achieve that. He also says that Wall Street is wrong about Trump's tariffs because they're not seeing the big picture. So basically criticizing the market's take on tariffs and also talking about Tim Cook of Apple reportedly wanting robots in order to build iPhones in the U.S. Hopefully we'll have more on that. But really, like I said, one of the main recurring themes in Howard Lutnick's comments to CNBC so far is about him talking about automation in these plants in the U.S. Again, reportedly, initially what we were hearing was the Trump administration wanted these tariffs to basically push companies to build in the U.S. with U.S. workers. Now it seems like they want building in the U.S., but with robots. Back to you.
Thank you, Adira. And I'm loving the different comments that are coming in here, Joe.
I'm loving it, but you know what's cheaper than cheap labor? Robots.
Oh,
Dang.
are they though?
I don't know. Well, eventually they would probably.
Eventually, yeah.
Right? I mean.
Yeah. I happen to agree with that.
Employees is one of the company's largest.
It was,
expenses.
and Adira was bringing to my attention today. Starbucks continuing to explore robotics. Robotics, right? And like, I don't need any more attitude from you baristas, by the way. If I ask for 3 sweeteners,
Yeah, what's up with that?
I need my 3 sweeteners. Okay, don't give me a look.
What's up with the attitude?
Yeah, Neil, I need those sweeteners, baby. Coffee's bitter.
You know what I mean? You know what's funny? Hear this. You know what's funny? I'm sick of the attitude too, Sharif. But it's not necessarily with the baristas. I was in Jamaica one time, and the guy was making me a drink, and I gave him 150 Jamaican dollars, and the guy had the audacity to say to me, "Dude, that's $1.50." And I said,
You're lucky I'm not giving you 25 cents,
and I said,
bro.
You know
How
what,
much
dude,
is the coffee?
give me my drink and give me my $1.50 back. See you later. And I never went back to him. Yeah.
Giving
like,
you attitude.
What is up with this attitude?
What happened
Everybody
here?
needs to cut it out these days.
No,
I feel like.
the tipping culture is getting crazy.
Yeah.
Getting crazy. Why would I tip if I'm picking up my own food? Someone explain that to me. Who am I tipping here? Is it the cook back there or the machine that made my food? What the hell is going on? So yeah, I definitely don't like aspects of that. I definitely understand, tipping when it is warranted. If I'm sitting down at a table and, there has been good service, I'm going to tip. It's just end of story. But don't force my hand when I'm picking up my own food, and don't give me bad attitude just because I asked for a couple of sweeteners, even though I know
you're not even paying for it.
Maybe, yeah, bro. I don't get it, man. Anyway, that's the situation, Joseph. That's our rant for the day, in case you're wondering there. But it is now 2 o'clock, so we're flattening out this ABVE position. I'm quite happy with this trade. It's done for now. But we're going to send you over to the big kahunas, who are going to be looking at all sorts of large caps and everything in between. The market is taking a turn up, by the way. Howard Lutnick is on. Is he still on? Yeah, he's still on. He's with David Faber. That's not David Faber. What's that guy's name again? Do you know this guy's name? I forget his name. That's not David Faber. I forget his name, man. Yeah. He used to have his own show at 7 o'clock. I just forget the name of the dude. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, he's still on, guys, on CNBC. So more market commentary likely as we go on. keep your eye on the volatility. It's been a great day today, both for small caps, large caps. There's only one Mag 7 named red. It goes by the name GOOGL, and it's barely red. I mean, it's about to go green in a second, so not a bad look for the market. We'll have to see if it continues to run.
Wow.
You got anything before we want to go?
Yeah, Bitcoin's continuing to climb higher. I got faked out of it, but that's when, and yes, Alabama Black Snake, I still own 75 to be exact of my long-term investment.
I love it. All right, guys, same bat time, same bat channel. I'll see everybody at the green screen. Big kahunas.
Welcome back. It's going to bug me who that dude is.
It's Brian Sullivan.
Yes, thank you.